second home game of this USL Championship season. The big question is, can this team continue to string together results, especially coming off such a high triumph in Birmingham?
Yeah, I think that is crucially the big deal. Unbeaten in 3 for Phoenix, a chance to make it unbeaten in 4, a chance to add a second consecutive USL Championship victory, and perhaps what's most important for the higher-ups in this club and also the fans of this club, a chance to get a second consecutive home win and stay unbeaten at 38th in Washington. It's the sign of any good team, Pate. If you can find a way to just not lose games and you can string together a result after result after result after result, you're a good team. It's what Man City does every year. It's what Arsenal has done this year in the Premier League. If Phoenix can figure that out and figure out how to slowly but surely not only improve their quality, but also improve their ability to go get results day in, day out, no matter how well they played, it's the sign of a really, really good team. And that's what we're going to have to see tonight against a flatly inferior Monterey Bay FC side in terms of pure talent.
It's a Monterey Bay side that came in for the season opener at home for Rising last year, got beat 4-2. Total amount of goals scored between the 2 league matches, including these 2 teams, was 12. That might be something to keep an eye on as Frank Yallop makes his venture back southward to his old stomping grounds here at Phoenix Rising. For Juan Guerra, he's talked about getting this side to click together, come together, and finally hit their stride. It feels like a step was taken in Birmingham. Yes, really easy to take a step backward on the heels of something like that. As a player, speak to the mentality Rising have to have tonight against a Monterey Bay side that has proven pesky in championship play so far this year.
Well, you mentioned 2 steps forward, 1 more step to go, right? You have all these good results that have been put together. A draw against San Diego after what was a good performance in a 3-0 defeat. A nervy 1-0 win against a lower league side that you got done, and then you find a way to get it done once again down in Alabama. That's the mentality, is just find a way to keep getting it done. It's that 2 steps forward. You got to keep making that next step. You cannot afford to go back. It's very important for Phoenix today. We talked a lot about how important that Birmingham game was, Pate. This might be more important. It's a Western Conference team. You're going to see them twice. It's going to matter more in the standings. It's also a team that you should beat every single time you face them. And sometimes as a player, as a manager, as a member of the coaching staff, as the kit man, it's harder to wake up for these games.
Sure.
It's harder to get up for the Monterey Bays, where you're at home, you're sleeping in your bed, you wake up in the morning, you're feeling comfortable in your life, and then you've got to go play Monterey Bay, who's ready to wreck your world. Well, when you go to Birmingham, it's pretty easy to wake up for that game knowing what you're up against. Today, it's a Monterey Bay team that, we've said it, they don't have a lot of talent, but they are still pretty good. They're well coached, well put together. It's a tougher challenge than what the paper might suggest. You got to play it on grass, and they're going to have an opportunity again to put forward results, string forward some of those, and now they've just got to show out and continue to go about their business.
It is a Monterey Bay side that have scored more goals than anybody else in USL play to date. They do have a couple dangerous men at the front of their attack and a very defined identity under Frank Yallop. We'll talk more about that throughout the broadcast. Coming into games like this, I think the word is professionalism. Can you find that professionalism to get up for this the same way you have against the elite teams you've played to start the year if you're Juan Guerra and Phoenix Rising?
Yeah, I think that you have to have that ability to walk into the door, know you're going to win, but not only have the confidence, but have the ability, have the leadership qualities, have the intangibles, both physically, mentally, technically, to go out there and be a professional, be what you are expected to be, which is a member of what might be the most talented team in this division. When that's the expectation, in order to be a professional, you've got to hit that expectation every single day. I'm very excited to see Rising against what is, again, on paper, an inferior team for maybe the first time. We've seen a gauntlet of a schedule so far.
A lot of travel, too, for Rising.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're glad to be back home. Open Cup coming up next week, New Mexico and San Antonio. That's something to look forward to. It really is an easy one to look over if you're looking at Monterey Bay, but I don't think Juan Guerra has transmitted that type of energy this year that they're going to take anybody for granted.
No, never. You can't. And that's what a good coach, that's what a good manager does, is he sits you down in the room on Thursday and says, listen, I know we've been training. Really, he sets you down on Tuesday, Monday, whenever you get your day off. So they get their day off on Sunday this week. They come back Monday, they train. He sits you down and says, here's who's next. Here's what they do well. Here's what they do poorly. You may think they're this. They are better than this, no matter if they are or not. You have to tell your players that this is going to be a contest, and Phoenix have been in nothing but contests this year. Even the San Diego game on the road where they lost 3-0, they were the better side for 55, 60 minutes. A Conway goal that broke the deadlock and then the 2 in the last 10. That was an absolute duel for the entirety of that game. So you have to expect the same here. You have to expect that night in, night out in this league. And once you've seen a Rising team that's been in nonstop smoke show contests for the first couple games of the year, they're pretty used to this, and they're pretty used to the idea that they're going to have to come in ready and prepared. So while Monterey Bay, again, maybe this lesser side, the Rising players have had to do nothing but wake up for games. You wonder if that maybe helps them in this kind of scenario. I think it might.
We will see. I'm going to stop you short of a prediction in terms of a scoreline because we don't do that.
I would like to. I could.
Big J.
89-0. I'm not going to say who.
I don't think that one's going to happen, but the expectations in your mind for Rising in terms of controlling the controllables and doing what they need to do in the field of play.
Possession, pressing, stuff like that. You're playing against a Monterey Bay team that is, while not this full embodiment of kick and run, they are going to sit and blast and then defend. Rising should have 60% of the ball today, possession-wise. They should have opportunities to press Monterey Bay into mistakes when they do decide to build. You want to see good, clear possession on the attacking end, and you want to see patient, calculated, and precise pressing on the defensive side of things to go at them and take advantage of it. We'll see. I think the big thing today is you're playing against a team that you're better than, flat out, non-debatable. You've got to go out there and just get a result, flat out, straight up. You need to get the job done, and that's what this game offers up.
Atmosphere starting to bubble up here on the bend of 38th and Washington. You're listening to Rising Radio, Monterey Bay FC and Phoenix Rising coming up. Back with more pregame thoughts and comments in a couple of minutes.
Does this sound familiar? Tired of listening to this every day? How does this sound? Tune in to BlazeRadioOnline.com. With thousands of songs on display, you can be sure to sing your blues away via our broadcast, running from 6 a.m. to midnight every day of the week.
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. Here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
You've always wanted to go to college, correct?
Yeah.
Well, here's that invitation you've been waiting for.
Joey, out of bed.
Wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
I'm Naheem Hines, proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom has muscular dystrophy, and the MDA helps her and kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 12 years old. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. And MDA funds over 150 care centers for kids like me.
For over 70 years, MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Learn more at mda.org today.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
This group's worked so hard since day one. This group, we've asked a lot from this group, and we've demanded them, we pushed them, and frankly, after the San Diego game the other day, we made a promise in our locker room, and we said that we got 3 games this week, and we let this one get away from our hands. We have to make a promise now that we're going to win the next 2. And the group responded, man. The group played together as a team. I've been saying it since day one. It's hard to get 17, 18 new players. And I told them right now we have a lot of individual talent. We're a bunch of guys that we're wearing the same uniform. We need to become a team now. And then after becoming a team, we become a family.
That was Juan Guerra after the result in Birmingham. Here's how his team sets up today. It's the traditional spine we've come to know and love. Rocco Rios Novo in goal. Kevin Lambert wears the armband as a member of a back 3 of Alejandro Fuenmayor and Daniel Crutzen. Double pivot in midfield, Renzo Zambrano, and the player in the team of the week in the USL Championship, Carlos Harvey. Gabby Torres, Henry Uzuchukwu, the fullbacks. Danny Trejo, Erickson Gallardo, and Manuel Arteaga make up the front 3. On the other side of things for Frank Yallop, Carlos Herrera gets a rare start in goal. Hugh Roberts, as well as Maury Donor, Grant Robinson, and Kai Green make up a back 4. Novello Yaseki, Adrian Rebelar, Moby Fair, Alex Dixon, the man in form, Sam Glenel, and Christian Valesky round out a team that we expect to sit in a 4-4-2.
Yeah, we are very excited, I think, to watch Monterey Bay and see how they conduct themselves. At times this year when they've had the ball, it's been a 4-2-3-1 with Sam Glenel roaming wherever he wants to go, Peyton. We'll see where and how Monterey Bay decide to use him today. We'll get into more of that later. The really, really interesting part of the team sheet, though, is the goalkeeper. What is Carlos Herrera doing there with Anthony Siaha healthy and on the bench? That's so strange to me. He's a guy who came in late last year for Monterey Bay, was one of the better goalkeepers in the USL towards the end of that season. He started at the beginning of the year, and now all of a sudden he's fit and healthy, and against maybe their highest ranked opponent, their best team that Monterey Bay might have faced so far, they go with their backup goalkeeper. It's an interesting decision from Frank Yallop, who you and I have both come to realize he's a guy who knows what he's doing, so you trust him in this scenario, but you're still just as curious as to why number 16 is not out there and number 21 is.
Here is the book on Siaha. Signed last year on July 9th, and after that really helped spur this Monterey Bay team to a late surge at the end of the year in 2022. 8 clean sheets for him in 17 starts. 8 of the 12 wins this team had last year, Monterey Bay, came with Siaha in goal. Herrera also signed midseason last year, didn't really get a chance to get his legs underneath him, did make the first start at the home ground of Monterey Bay in their inaugural season as a club in the USL. Cardinal Stadium kept a clean sheet in that one. They beat Las Vegas Lights, so he's a guy who saw some action last year, but it is a bit of a head scratcher. It's only his second appearance in the 2023 season.
Las Vegas Lights, Phoenix Rising. You see what I'm saying? Like, you've got a Las Vegas Lights team who is not going to want the ball, not going to fire away at your frame, and a Rising team who wants to do nothing but that for the duration of the 90. That's the curious thing. Siaha's the better goalkeeper. You wonder if there might be just something a little bit there that's nagging him enough to where he can't go, but he can still be able to go in an emergency. It's a flat-out curious thing to say. I'm very interested to see how the goalkeeper performs today, but it is really on his back four in front of him, who are phenomenal. That back four is so clean of Donor, Kai Green, Hugh Roberts is maybe one of the more exceptional center halves in this division, and Robinson at the left back spot. They're all pretty good. They all know their roles so well in this team.
Ryan, on the Rising side of things, what stands out?
I mean, again, we talked about it against Birmingham, right? I think genuinely it's the same point from the Birmingham game of that back eight is so set in stone. Like, we now know, and you can add Arteaga and you can add Eriksson maybe even into the system. I think Juan Guerra knows what his best team is, and that revolves around one of the guys who can stretch. Maybe when Fede Varela is healthy, that's Trejo, and Varela slots in. But now he puts Trejo and Eriksson into the system. They're going to have a chance to really run ragged against a Monterey Bay team who like to sit deep, but when you get them further up the field, athletically challenged. What do? Well, if you can let them up the field just a little bit, you've got two of the best athletes in your entire squad up there going in and taking advantage of it. I think Juan Guerra, what stands about this team sheet, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants. He knows what he's seen from his team in preseason and now, and he's got certainly his best 8 in the midfield line and in the back 3 and in his goalkeeper. And I think he's starting to figure out what he wants to do with his front 3 as well.
You hit on it a bit there, Fede Varela, as we update you on the fitness of the squad coming into tonight. Not in the team, still nursing an injury. Also out of the lineup for Juan Guerra, Emi Cuecho, who may have picked up a bit of a knock in Birmingham. Darnell King also unavailable. We saw Varela. Of course, Darnell King pregame, getting a little bit of work in, put through their paces. Niall Dunn also there with him. We saw him run about 2 miles, it felt like, in pregame, so they won't go tonight. But as you look out at this team for Phoenix Rising, starting to get a little bit more fit, they approach this match, their second one in their new home. The emotion's going to be different, and they're going to hope that they don't crack under pressure at the end and they can maybe see out a result here today.
Yeah, it's not quite the same emotion that we saw from San Diego. It's certainly not the same vibe that it was in the Cup against Greenville, but it's somewhere in between that. I think it's somewhere where you know what the job is, you know you've got to get it done. The fans around you feel that the job is there. There's not that intense rivalry that San Diego brings to the occasion as well as that home opener that it was. So it's a different vibe, a different kind of support. So you've got to interact and react in different ways as a player. You've got to get up for it differently. You've got to go out there and play differently. And that's the test. Every game is different. Rising have been tested with so much high-quality opponents so far. This is a different kind of test than we've seen all year against a team in Monterey Bay that, while they are showing well so far in the league, Rising on paper, are a better team and have looked the better team so far this year, even with Monterey Bay's stout schedule and stout record so far. It's all curious, and that's why we play the game, is we get the chance to see it unfold in front of our eyes.
For the players that are out for Juan Guerra, he does welcome back Jose Andres Hernandez into the 18 after missing every game after the opener against Charleston. Maybe not the difference maker they've had in past weeks off the bench in the attack, but certainly a body that's more than capable to interject at some point down the line and maybe change things up.
Yeah, he'll be crucial to bring on if they need to find a guy who can find creative spaces and facilitate in a different way than Renzo. Probably Renzo. I don't think you'd sacrifice Harvey in any scenario, in any game, unless he's got a yellow card and he's getting on the ref's nerves. But he's just a different piece that you can add into the puzzle, and that's what makes Rising so great, is their ability to toggle between different styles of players and still play the same stylistic system.
Let's shift to the opponent tonight, Ryan. Monterey Bay. We think it's going to be a 4-4-2. Frank Yallop is a guy that lifts the floor of the teams that he takes charge of. That's been consistent throughout his career. It's not a team with a lot of high horsepower talent in terms of what they've accomplished in their career. Let's just be honest, but it's a team that really knows who they are.
Yep, they're 4-4-2 defensively, 4-2-3-1 going forward. It's going to really depend on the spaces that Rising leave open. That's where they're going to attack. Rising in that 3-4-3, we'll call it that for the sake of it. It's really sometimes depends. It'll go 4-4-2, 4-4-3, whatever, 4-3-3, whatever. It depends on what Rising leave open space-wise. Monterey Bay is going to attack it, and they're going to do that using Sam Gleedle, who's a left back by trade, played high school at Campo Verde High School in the Valley. He's a local kid, played for San Antonio at points. He knows what this style is like with that counterattacking, but he's so crucial to the way they play. Sometimes he'll be a 10, he'll be a left winger, a right winger. He will pick up every different spot today. They're probably going to attack the wide spaces using Gleedle. When he is on the right side, he's much deeper, trying to find long lacing crosses in. When he's on the left side, he's getting towards the byline more and cutting back. It's going to really, I think he's going to attack Uzo a lot because of how advanced Uzo is for Rising on the right side. So I think we'll see Gleedle a ton on this near left side, trying to whip crosses in from the byline back towards the penalty mark and 6-yard area.
Gleedle is one of the two guys that provide the star power on the side so far for Monterey Bay. The other one is Alex Dixon, one of the most accomplished strikers in this level of American soccer. He has 6 shots this year across all competitions. He has 6 goals, and he leads the USLC coming in today with 5 in USL Championship play.
6 for 6, a pretty good number.
That's not bad.
It's gnarly, right? So you're telling me 6 shots, 6 goals. You take that every day of the week, no matter what. He's a guy who finishes. I think a guy that's going to get overlooked in some ways for this Monterey Bay team is Valesky. He is so crucial to how they play. Christian Valesky winning headers, getting up, creating second chances for his teammates. If he can be this buffer that you play off of as your center forward and give Gleedle and guys like Dixon space to operate, even midfielders like Rebelar who can get into the spaces and play off of him, he's so important, so crucial for this idea that they want to play long. You've got to have a target who's really good at playing off of it, and you've got to have a bunch of guys who are really good at playing off of him. That's how Monterey Bay has been constructed, with Gleedle, with Dixon, with Rebelar, with Yaseki, guys who can just roll around and figure out the spaces to take up where their big number 10 is not.
Timely to mention Valesky, who is the reigning USL Championship Player of the Week. 2 goals and an assist against New Mexico dating back to last year. 7-9, the best stretch of form in his career. Another player that's had a long run at this level. The counterattack, though, I think is the main threat for Phoenix Rising this evening. Some concerns, some whispers, some murmurs around the press box today about whether Rising had the pace at the back to deal with the speedy Gleedle, Dixon, and the other guys who will bum rush them at times in the game today. Ryan, is that something that you're concerned about?
We'll see. Your 2 6s are so important in that, not because they've got the pace to handle it, but because they've got the ability to read and sweep up balls before they even get there. If you allow Zambrano and Harvey to control the middle of the field, Phoenix will dominate. If Zambrano and Harvey can win 50-50 balls off of Valesky, can stop counterattacks before they've even started, Rising win this game simply because they control the passage of the park that they want to control. That's the key. If they can get those two, the double pivot in midfield, to succeed, they should have rampant success today.
Coming up, we'll take you through the key points and the weak spots in Monterey Bay. Closing in on kickoff here at 38th and Washington. It's Monterey Bay FC and Phoenix Rising on Rising Radio.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. Here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
You've always wanted to go to college, correct?
Yeah.
Well, here's that invitation you've been waiting for.
Joey, out of bed.
Wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
He embarrassed her in front of others. She kept it to herself. He called her names. She didn't say anything. He pushed her. She still remained quiet. He punched and kicked her. She's now in the hospital. If you don't stop them, they won't stop bullying you. Stand up against the bully and raise your voice. Break the silence, stop the violence.
This message was brought to you by Mass Communication students of Abu Dhabi University.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
How to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad
Does this
Council.
sound familiar? Tired of listening to this every day? How does this sound? Tune in to BlazeRadioOnline.com. With thousands of songs on display, you can be sure to sing your blues away via our broadcast, running from 6 a.m. to midnight every day of the week.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
Match day number 5 for Phoenix Rising Monterey Bay Union FC in town under the direction of Frank Yallop, Peyton Galler, and Ryan Sikora here for you on the call. And as we look at the opposite number to Juan Guerra's side today, what are the weak points in this Monterey Bay team as you see it?
I mean, it's tactically, right? Like, they are really, really rigid in the way they've been set up. That 4-4-2 long ball style, you're so reliant on the fact that you have to win second balls, that you have to dominate in the second chance opportunities to win possession, because if you don't, you're going to lose the game. So really, that's their weakest point, is they love to live in the chaos, and that's great for them in a lot of ways, but if you negate that and you do a good job of making sure that they can't live in the chaotic moments, well, you win the game. It's as simple as that. If Phoenix's double pivot of Zambrano and Harvey today can control second ball opportunities, they win the game. It's simply because that is Monterey's style of play. Now, the idea that they do to kind of stop teams from dominating them on the second balls to the midfield is they'll play a lot to Valesky through the top, and they'll try and move it into the wide spaces. So your fullbacks have to be defensively strong, and we know Rising's biggest weak point is probably the fact that their fullbacks are really attacking.
That's an interesting thing you bring up, Ryan. That's going to be the matchup in my mind. The right side of the pitch for Phoenix Rising, Henry Uzochukwu, who's been so dynamic going forward. At times, his average positioning has been the highest on the team for Phoenix against a very dangerous counter-attacking left-sided midfielder in Sam Gleedle. That might be the corridor the match is decided today in.
It's where Gleedle goes. That's as simple as that. And you expect Gleedle, who loves to pick up the opportunities and is told to pick up the opportunities where the opponent's leaving space. Well, Uzo leaves more space in this team than anybody else, simply because he's better going forward as a fullback, as a wingback, than he is defensively. Now, that doesn't make him a forward. It makes him a wingback that fits the system. But Gleedle is going to love this left sideline, the near sideline to us, Peyton, right in front of the Rising technical area. That 10 to 15 to 20-yard stretch just between the midfield line and the 18-yard box, he's going to live in that space. He's going to be receiving balls on his left foot in that space. You'll see him drive crosses in from deep. You'll see him drive to the end line, the touch line, and drag them across there. He's going to live in those areas. You have to stop that if you're Phoenix. If you can do that, again, just like winning the 50-50 balls, you win the game. Monterey Bay are a really well-oiled machine, but there's a couple of little cracks in that machine that if you can find a way to just open them up a little bit, you can really win the game pretty handily.
What kind of strain does that put on the right-sided center mid in the double pivot, which has typically been Carlos Harvey, and the right-sided center back, which is Kevin Lambert?
You need to have some athleticism, which Harvey has in droves, which Lambert is the most athletic out of the three. So it works out nice for Phoenix that Crutzen or Fuenmayor aren't on that side having to deal with it. But there's going to be a little heavier shift to this near side, the right side, in the first half. You're going to have to find a way to just stop it. And maybe that forces Gleedle to the other side, and then there's a shift there. Wherever Gleedle goes, you're going to see a lot of the possession and a lot of the congestion on the pitch over on whatever side he is touching on. He's that important. He's the most important player on the pitch tonight. Not the best, but the most important player on the pitch tonight.
Looking at the key points now for Phoenix, you'd imagine that's one of them, yes. Elsewhere, Juan Guerra's concern is going to be directed where tonight over the next 90 minutes?
Yeah, so the first one we have on there is Gleedle can't be the guy to beat you, but we already talked about that enough, so I'll leave it be for a second here. Don't get frustrated if you're Phoenix. You know that you're not always going to enjoy playing against a team who play like Monterey Bay does. They're going to go long. They're going to not allow you to press, which you love to live in those moments, those pressing opportunities. You've got to trust the process of, hey, they're going to play this way. We've got to trust ourselves to go out there. We can't get frustrated with ourselves. We have to stay within ourselves as individuals of character that Juan Guerra has glowed about them all preseason long into the season. You got to show that character. You cannot get frustrated. You can't allow Monterey Bay to win the second balls. We talked about that plenty. It is so important for Zambrano and Harvey to get into the action and sweep it up.
And it's an interesting tactical matchup. We've seen more teams maybe take this approach of let's sit in the mid-low block and try and disrupt things, create chaos, and overpower Rising in the final third, maybe create a couple mistakes and take advantage. Rising trying to grow throughout the season, of course, yes, but Frank Yallop, a really acclaimed tactician at this level, as is Juan Guerra. Do you imagine this game will end where it starts?
No, I do not. I think that there's going to be enough ebbs and flows in this game and opportunities for both teams that I think there's going to be enough opportunities for both of these teams to turn this game into something that has chaos. We saw it last year. Right? Where goals galore. Phoenix are good enough on the ball to create opportunities. Monterey Bay are just about chaotic enough to where they're going to grab 1 or 2 goals a game. They've done it a couple times this year. They've been in some barn burners themselves, 4-3, 4-2 games this year already. They love those kinds of games where they can grab 2 or 3 just off you kind of being stupid in possession, flat out. They can take advantage of your mistakes. Phoenix are so good at creating opportunities for themselves. It's a real clash of styles that I think is really fun. And lastly, for Rising, get your number 10s, get your 2 attacking midfielders on the ball. That's the key. And it's weird tonight because Gallardo and Trejo are not we're going to step in and get on the ball with our feet. They're not that. So maybe you throw that point out of the window, but I still think it's so important when you're breaking down a low block or you're breaking down a 4-4-2 to have a pair of number 10s that can drop into spaces, dictate with their skill, their flair, their tenacity on the ball. Figure that out. That's maybe the one thing for Rising that I circle and I say, if your 2 athletes in Trejo and Gallardo can stretch and push and pull, but also check in and be technical, drag defenders with them as well, have that variance, that's how you break this game down. That's how you win that chess match between the 2 managers. It's based on those 2 guys that frankly, that position hasn't gotten enough possession so far in the early season.
Of course, Danny Trejo doing exactly that is what opened the game up last week on Sunday against Birmingham. That is a point of intrigue, though, in this one. Without Fede Varela in the team today, also without Emi Quayshow, those are the 2 players that would swap into those number 10 roles. It really is going to be down to Gallardo and Trejo to carry that load throughout the match, set up Orteaga, who of course scored 2 goals last time he took this pitch.
It's an opportunity, especially for a guy like Manu. If Manu has a chance to go out there and do it again, it's big. He has thrived at home in terms of these moments. We talked about it the first 3 games of the season. He was doing all the little things well, but he wasn't finishing. Well, now he scored the 2 goals against San Diego, and it feels like the finishing has been better, but the little things have drifted away. So now it's about finding the balance. Maybe Manu puts it all together today. That's pretty huge in my opinion. If he can do that, again, you're walking away happy with if you're Juan Guerra. You want to find a way to just walk out of every contest with a smile on your face knowing that something in your system improved today. One of your players improved today.
Arteaga is the team leader in shots to this point for Rising. He's got 15, only 2 goals.
He's no Alex Dixon.
Yeah, well, I wish everybody could be Alex Dixon, but they're not. Ryan. Arteaga has been in good spots, though, and I think that is the big thing to date. He has had the opportunities to score. He maybe hasn't had that clinical touch. That said, Jackson Conway is waiting in the wings, and you would imagine that competition maybe starting to heat up going down the line if Arteaga can't really find the form.
And Conway's a little bit bigger. Not that Arteaga at 6 foot, a little bit sturdy as well, is not small, but Conway gives you a different element of he allows you to live in those chaotic moments that Monterey Bay love to live in.
Sure.
So he gives you a different wrinkle, a different element to the system. If there's more service in a game, you want him. So maybe against teams where they're going to be in a low block, like Monterey Bay, you might prefer Conway because you're going to get the ball more in areas where you've got to whip a ball in and hope someone can put a forehead onto it. So that's where Conway kind of thrives, is those ideas. He scored 5 headers a year ago. It's well documented what he was able to do for an Atlanta United 2 team. But Arteaga, I think, is so much better at the little things, the other things, the side hustles, we've called them a couple times here, where you have to fill in, you have to figure it out. That's why he gets in the team every week, because he can do everything just a little bit better than Conway, other than being a presence in the area. And I think that's more important for a number 9 in Juan Guerra's team, Juan Guerra's model, as he often calls it, to be that kind of forward rather than the Conway. If you put it on my forehead at 8 yards out, I'm scoring.
Manuel Arteaga probably not door dashing, doing freelance graphic design, right? Day trading. I'm going to take that as a no.
Say it again? I didn't follow. No, say it again. I didn't follow.
It was a poor joke, and we move on.
Okay.
Monterey Bay coming in here, that long ball lethality that they bring into this match, maybe not a club with the resources, but a club with conviction, yes, and Frank Yallop certainly would relish the opportunity to come in here and cut the parade short after that Birmingham win. What is the most dangerous part of the next 90 minutes?
Every league and every season has the plucky underdog. Last year in USL, it was Detroit City. Up from the whatever league they were, the HAYZZ, whatever. Doesn't matter. This year it's Monterey Bay, maybe, the team that can really, really just kind of find a way to egg out a result every single stretch of the way. That's what they offer, is a team that's plucky, a team that has all the potential to steal your thunder in a home game in this league. They can do it. They might not be anywhere near anyone else in terms of the quality on paper, but simply put, they are set up so well. They provide a quality contest in that remark, and that's huge.
Now with the moment, we will look at the benches for the two teams. I'm going to have you pick out who might make the impact out of the dugout. Patrick Rakowski, we've been told he might be able to play in midfield at times. I'm not sure, but he's the backup goalkeeper for Rising. Mohamed Traore, Babu Jai, Carlos Anguiano, Jose Andres Hernandez, Jackson Conway, and Eddie Monjoma off the bench. He subbed in the last 3 matches for Rising. It's Anthony Siaha, the backup goalkeeper for Frank Yallop in Monterey Bay. Alex Lara, who last year was at Las Vegas Lights. Max Glasser, Walmer Martinez, Jason Johnson, who starred for Frank Yallop at Phoenix Rising when the two of them were here several years ago. Jesse Maldonado, the local boy from right around the area, played at Yavapai Community College, came up in Chandler, and of course Chase Boone off the bench as well.
For Monterey Bay, you hear Jason Johnson and your eyes light up. You're like, whoa, he's still around. And he's only 32, by the way. He is not this old man that I think a lot of people that follow this league believe Jason Johnson might be. Your eyes just light up. A guy who was that good for that long in this building, well, kind of this building. He was honestly just the guy for Phoenix Rising for a 2 or 3 year stretch. And if he wasn't the guy, he was playing second fiddle fantastically. So he's the one that I look at as a forward that can do this job and figure it out. For Phoenix, I honestly want to see more of Eddie Monjoma. I think he's been fun and flashy every time he's gotten onto the pitch, and he's consistently played about the last 10 minutes or so for every game this year for Rising. I want to see if the former FC Dallas guy, who used to play above this level, that used to be a substitute above this level, can show up and finally start to establish himself and establish an opportunity in this team. It's really tough with Uzo in front of him, but I would love to see if Monjoma can continue to build a platform and build a role into this team.
Time will tell, but the time for talk is well nigh over. Up next, kickoff on Rising Radio. Phoenix Rising and Monterey Bay Union FC. Match day number 5 in the USL Championship when we come back.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
The casting glow of the sun setting behind the mountains here in the valley as this Phoenix Rising team takes the field. It's Rising Radio, match day 5 of the USL Championship campaign. Rising welcoming in Monterey Bay Union. This Rising side now lifted by the ballooning belief of chance and hope that was created in Birmingham, trying to make it 2 on the spin. Juan Guerra's side cast in that traditional glowing red, stricken and striped in black stripes, Monterey Bay in all white, and we are ready to go. The atmosphere bubbling on 38th and Washington. Hello, everybody. Peyton Gallagher with Ryan Sagora here on the gantry tonight. A match that has been building throughout the week with less hype than the previous followers in this season for Phoenix Rising, but with equal importance in terms of gravity and, of course, 3 points.
It's an opportunity for 3 points that is staring you in the face like no other that you've seen this season, Peyton. You've seen top 5 teams in every single game in both conferences so far this season. Just 4 in, admittedly, right? You've got 30 to go. But this is the first time you look at the schedule and you say, yeah, that's 3 points. That's mark it down, put it in pen. Rising have to get a result today. It's the first time we've looked at it and said, the bare minimum is a victory. The bare minimum is 3 more points added onto your tally. That creates pressure and expectation in its own right, perhaps more so than any other fixture that Phoenix have faced this season. So it's a huge game for both teams, but for Phoenix specifically, it's the first game we've seen where a result is almost a necessity.
A measure of the medal today as rubber sets to meet road. Monterey Bay and Phoenix Rising. These two got together last year. It was sparks, 12 total goals over 2 contests. 4-2 victory for Rising at home to start the year off, and then a 3-3 draw in California later on in the year. First 10 minutes will be interesting. The next 80 will be telling. Rising fan in formation, that signature now 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1 will be put in practice in action by Juan Guerra. These are the games he's really been building for, those ones where you make the mortar between the bricks that builds your platform to go and chase a championship.
And this is why the system exists. This is why the game is played. This is why Rising play the way they do. It's not to go and play against the big boys. No, it's to break down the supposed little guys. That's the opportunity today for Phoenix.
And it's off. Valesky rolls it back. Robert sends forward. And right out of the gate, a long ball for Monterey Bay that's sniffed out and won by Gallardo. And forward and down the left flank and charging ahead, lurching in motion is Gabby Torres on the edge of the box, dancing with it. Cutting in, Arteaga, strong right foot touch. Now he loops in with the left, headed out. Half-hearted effort as Hugh Roberts steps in front and guides it away from danger, but Rising a scent for blood right from the opening gun.
That was fast. I loved that. I loved Arteaga checking in on the far side, finding it. Just open your hip a little bit. A little touch pass off the inside of your foot. You love to see it. You love to see your 9 doing the little things, doing the side hustles, trying to get involved.
Again, no DoorDash there. Diagonal ball bouncing into the box, taken at feet by Rios Novo. The man from Lanús, who saw 16 appearances, spelling Brad Guzan in MLS with Atlanta United a year ago, now with Phoenix Rising. Still looking for his first clean sheet in a Rising shirt. Flem Mayor out of the back, a skipping ball from the right to the left to Torres, and now calmly to Harvey.
Carlos Harvey dropping in to be that center back when Rising builds. So Crutzen goes to the left back. Lambert moves to right back in a 4-4-2 creatively, sometimes a 4-3-3. Harvey drops in because he can carry the ball and he gives you a little more variance in that center back spot.
Harvey the point of difference in Birmingham, defers to Fuenmayor and receives it right back.
And it's a perfect relationship, Peyton, because Fuenmayor, we know he loves the diagonal. We know he's so good on the ball with his passing ability. So to have a guy like Harvey who can drive and carry just to offset that, it's a great relationship to forge.
Fuenmayor once more. Driving a ball with a little bit too much lift over the head of Torres, who saw quite a few passes stray right from him off the Canes advertisement board on the far side.
Yeah, as soon as I big up the ability to hit those long balls from Fuenmayor, he just overhits one by about 10 yards.
Exact same plays out for Carlos Herrera, who skies one out of touch on the far side as he was trying to play long out of the back. Fuenmayor did get what was effectively a secondary assist on the maiden goal here at 38th in Washington as he played a long ball to Uzachukwu, who neatly found Arteaga for the breakthrough. Here's Rios Novo, 3rd minute of play, well out of his own goal as he flips the field over to Torres, or rather that Crutzen, locates Gallardo, and over to Carlos Harvey, who steps on it, pivots, and starts right, going back left, and Gallardo charges ahead. Into the attacking half now, Phoenix. Harvey touching the chalk at midfield, and Zambrano dropping into his own end, and Fuenmayor, they'll switch the point of attack. Zambrano, driving ball, scooped down the left side, and Torres will be a step behind it, out for a throw. Really hammering that left side so far, Phoenix. Early doors, yes, but We've seen 3 or 4 attacks launched down that corridor. Crutzen up high for it. He wins it, and Harvey attempts to settle the second ball. He's knocked off it, a rare sight. That was a spiritful challenge by the Monterey player, but it bounces harmlessly back for Rios Novo, who sets it back in motion to Zambrano, and now Lambert, right side. Moore lets it lie. And Rios Novo in his own box. No pressure from Monterey Bay, at least not yet. Finally rolled out ahead for Fuenmayor, who takes plenty of space that's been afforded to him. Now the long ball. Uzuchukwu trying to bend his run into the box, headed away. Well defended by Kai Green. Settling at the feet of Lambert, who slides it incisively into midfield. Zambrano, and back for Fuenmayor. Rising have had all the ball 5 minutes through.
Yeah, it's 77% possession for Phoenix so far. Monterey Bay barely a touch. Only 10 total passes for Union so far. It's been fun to watch Phoenix try and triangulate their way through, and Erickson Gallardo's dropping into positions. Really, it is Trejo and Gallardo, the two 10s, trying to get involved, and the two wingbacks in Uzo and Gabi Torres pushing, bombing onward, which is what we talked about in the open, trying to get the two 10s into the passage of play.
Equally so, Monterey will wait for that moment to lure them into a counterattack. As Crutzen plays a long ball forward, Trejo chest down, the flag stays down. Danny Trejo, crucial block and cleared away. That was great defending again by Hugh Roberts, who tracked the run in, fought in from the right shoulder, and slid in to take the ball off the left foot of Trejo. Looked like a chance was forming there, all the way back to Rios Novo.
And that was in a flash, right? It was one ball over the top to the quick and speedy, decisive, integral part of the team in Trejo, but it came after consistent, cautious play, and they just flipped the switch. In a flurry, they were going forward.
Ball out of play, thrown to come for Crutzen.
I really love the cadence of this game through the first 6 minutes or so. It's back and forth. Phoenix are very content, very patient to move side to side, but no one to bomb on.
Uzo makes that run, bombing into the space, approaching the touchline, and gliding over to deal with it is Kai Green, out for the first corner of the match. 6 minute now. Rising looking to break the duck. Emi Quayshow has taken these through the early stages of the season. Of course, he started first handful of matches, not in the 18 today. It looks like Daniel Crutzen might take the corner.
He can hit these. We've talked about him and his ability on dead balls with free kicks. If he can hit a free kick, he can hit a cross. He's not a threat in the air like Lambert or Fuenmayor is. It doesn't stun me in this scenario.
Rising don't have anybody back. It's only Rios Novo who will play sweepers, played short to the edge of the area. Tapped back by Trejo to Crutzen, who hits it, hanging high all the way across the frame of goal, falling for Torres, who clips it out for another corner. So that was an interesting tactic, and it looks like Crutzen might hit it again from the opposite flag.
And he and Erickson Gallardo have made their way over there. I think they want the in-swinger consistently. So the Crutzen, the left winger, or the left footer, takes it on the near side, Gallardo on the far side. He might as well be a left winger if he's taking corners.
They play it short to Crutzen, who rolls it back to Carlos Harvey. And now to Zambrano, who drives it back in. Slicing run into the area from Crutzen. He heads it on towards goal. Lands softly and is sent away from danger by Monterey Bay. Settled by Harvey, who pirouettes through midfield and slices back to find friendly faces in his own half. Now rolls it out to the right side for Fuenmayor in his own area.
So we've seen a Phoenix team who doesn't like to get too cutesy creative off of corner kicks. Now in their first two, get really creative. I wonder if that was a part of the game plan this week. You're going to have a lot of the ball. You're going to have a lot of shots. You're going to have a lot of corner kicks. Why not try and find every little advantage you can? Maybe they spent more time on the dead balls this week.
Fuenmayor guiding one into the channel. Something for Arteaga to chase. Roberts arrives to get it back to his keeper to clear. Zambrano wins the header. Every 50-50 ball so far going the way of Rising 8 minutes through.
Yep. Couldn't have said any better.
Crutzen puts it forward. Torres and Gallardo dancing and prancing, and back for Zambrano, who switches the play. Skidding ball to the right foot of Fuenmayor. And Harvey finds space forward. Trejo settles, venturing into the attacking half, only to retreat back to Kevin Lambert. Reevaluate the approach. Zambrano Preston midfield. Right back for Fuenmayor, who skips it through a couple lines and finds the feet of Arteaga. Arteaga struggled to bring it down and had no option but to plow it forward. Nobody's there. Herrera arrives at the ball and keeps it in play. First chance to actually possess it for Monterey Bay comes about 9 minutes in. Herrera rising, extending to meet the ball at the back. Long ball from Herrera is going to be overhit again and into the Monterey Bay dugout. Frank Yallop's up and screaming at his goalkeeper.
But that's what happens when you press a team just a little bit that aren't used to having the ball. It almost is 4 or 5 passes. They almost don't know if they can string together more, so they try and break a line. They try and go forward. They get angsty on the ball. Then you kick it away. If you're Herrera, you're not happy with that. Frank Yallop can't like what he's seen so far. Phoenix picking on this left side, picking on Maury Donor, who's not fantastic in the duels. Doesn't win a lot in the air, doesn't win a lot on the ground.
You don't want to settle in too much, though, if you're Phoenix Rising. This Monterey Bay side is a side that has been quite sharp. They lead the league so far this year in goals with 11. Right now trying to keep it out of theirs. Uzachukwu on a diagonal switch, cuts it to the byline. That's a nice move. Right-footed cross. It's a good ball. Back post, off the post. The woodwork turns it away as Monterey Bay were stranded just to look at that and watch and hope.
And it all starts with guess who? Take a guess. Carlos Harvey. Naturally so, the man who has been so integral in the midfield the last 2 weeks just picks his head up, and it's a flawless 40-yard ball from left to right to find Uzo, and that's how it gets created. One pickup with the head, one driven, dynamic, great ball in, and Rising are able to break their way through.
Rising still knocking, rapping at the door as Garrido has a corner that's put to the back post. Fuenmayor just misses out, and I think there's a foul.
Yeah, Ale, I think, took his hands and tried to elevate himself off the backside of Hugh Roberts. Roberts, maybe one of the players, not quite sure, feeling it on his back. That's a foul every day of the week, especially in that end. You're not going to get away with those if you're an attacker trying to go up and win a head ball.
Over the back, 2 free throws.
Question is Shaquille taking them, or who's taking them?
I do not think
Giannis?
Shaq is taking the free throws for Phoenix Rising, no.
Giannis, 90 minutes of free throws with Giannis. Just one free throw takes 45, the other takes another 45. Suns fans, you know what I'm talking about.
Carlos Herrera collects it for the goal kick. South End making noise, flags flying, drums beating. Everybody stacked up on the right side of the field, about 10 yards from the midfield line on either side. No sitting on the fence today for Monterey Bay. They know what they want to do.
And that's Monterey Bay's game. Get congested. That gives you more opportunities to win 50-50 balls.
Almost synthesized space as Trejo is able to settle out of the pack, but he can't break free. And wrangling it towards the right side are Monterey, but Harvey applies the challenge as Alex Dixon got his first touch of the ball there, out for a Monterey Bay throw.
That dude's everywhere. Harvey. He just everywhere.
30% of the world covered by land, the other 70% covered by Harvey. I believe that's the saying.
That was corny. No, all respect, that was corny. I've said some
it.
corny things on the broadcast.
Throwing in. Zamprano can't wield it away. And now he's lost the ball. And Fuenmayor is not taking any chances, just hoofs it down line. And now Rising might have a chance to break out. Trejo spinning forward and down the right side. Sprinting to recover in, Yaseki. Walls him off for a moment. Gallardo somehow over there. He makes his move towards the corner on the right side, and it's out for a corner kick as Gallardo used those legs, that pace, to get involved and press the issue. Another dead ball for Phoenix Rising. I believe that's their 4th corner already of the game. And Crutzen will be the one to take.
And now we're seeing Phoenix Peyton be a lot more dynamic side to side. They're taking advantage of the left-sided fullback after they flooded possession down the far side. Now they're going after the near side because now the left-sided fullback is switched off.
Crutzen in, that slices across the 6 and dances free. And now Dixon trying to break out. Torres does well to take away any avenue forward and then rips him down. Foul committed, get out of jail free card. Beg your pardon, that actually was Yaseki. Found the ball at his feet. Free kick taken quickly, a nice switching ball from the right side to the left. And now thrust forward. Dixon now. Fair. Across the midfield oval, the midfield circle I should say, Yaseki. And Fair. And forward down the right side this time. into the center, sprayed wide off the foot of Revelar. Valesky chasing into the corner. Trying to take it around Crutzen. Crutzen shielding him from the ball and keeping it in play. Gabby Torres. And it's given away by Torres. Now Monterey trying to press a little bit more and keep the ball on the attacking half. Swung back towards the defensive line as Roberts traces back and recovers it. Now flung to the near side for Grant Robinson. And switch by Fair side to side. Metronomic play by Monterey. Back at the feet of Fair. And Kai Green. And Hugh Roberts. And Moby Fair again in the center circle as he picks the ball up and tries to find a little bit of room. Never to come to Robinson and back to Roberts, and Rising try to press now as the ball descends and cascades into the Monterey half, and now they burst forward once more. Easier to run when you have the ball.
I love the rotations as well going on between Monterey Bay. The striker's going to drop in, the winger's going to drop aside. It's really fluid, which is what we talked about in the pregame. But you see what happens when you drop off if you're Phoenix. You give the team the confidence to grab some possessional play, and they can start to move around and have some fun.
Flung forward again, this time down the right side. Gabby Torres doing everything he can to get rid, and does, clearing it into the left-sided stands. Ball back in. Good time to tell you the next 10 minutes are brought to you by Nerd Sesh. If you're looking for smart, passionate NBA and NFL analysis and the best sports trivia in the game, do yourself a favor and check out our friends at Nerd Sesh. Give yourself a break from the hot take-obsessed mainstream media. Get some nerds in your life. Scan the QR code on your screen to find Nerd Sesh on all platforms. Nerds are where it's at. Long ball forward for Rios Novo to lap up. 16th minute, 0-0.
Okay, Rising, you got the ball back. Let's see you build and get this possessional play back. You got to watch yourselves get pinned back for a little while, so figure it out.
Rios Novo plots a path forward via the chest of Torres, who moves it backward. Harvey. Crutzen. A little bit more token pressure from Sam Gleadle with his blazing orange boots. Yet to really wrap them around the ball yet. Fuenmayor, Rios Novo, and Harvey dropping in. Now over to Crutzen. And Torres, calm possession, building from the back for Phoenix. Harvey dives right by Yaseki's outstretched boot and finds some space on the left side, muscles off a defender, and then runs out of road, but first will win what appears to be a free kick. Maybe a throw. It was a coming together there as Harvey made inroads down the left side. It will be a throw-in. Bouncing into the center. Arteaga gets a touch of it, and now Harvey again. Left side, Torres. And Crutzen at the midfield line, and he slices a switching ball to Lambert. That's well done. Lambert making his move into the attacking half and striding by Dixon and finding Uzachukwu. And back for Lambert. The dull thrum of a plane passing on. Crutzen, left-footed ball into the half space. Gallardo trying to turn three, twisting a ball to the opposite side now and tilting the field towards Uzachukwu. Uzachukwu settles and waits for friends to arrive. Lambert, Zambrano, Fuenmayor. This has got to be a 20-30 pass move now. Crutzen, Harvey in the center circle, and Fuenmayor. Fuenmayor probing ball to Gallardo, who's made himself available on the left-hand side, and now to Torres. Torres back for Harvey, just geometric weaving from side to side and shifting shapes and triangles for Juan Guerra. Fuenmayor. Now the long ball comes. It's Uzachukwu in and behind, and he can't bring it down on the first touch, but is able to loop around and keep it ahead of the byline. Trejo toying with it. 1-2. Uzachukwu couldn't get it back to Trejo, but does dig it out and keep the ball. Crutzen in the center of the park and plenty of room on the left now. They've over-rotated to the right. Gabby Torres in forward for Gallardo, and Gallardo let it lie for a second too long. I don't think he sensed the danger coming over his right shoulder, as it looked like Kai Green was able to wield the ball away from him and out for a goal kick.
What do you think? That's 50 passes in the sequence and nothing to show for it. That was Barcelona of 2009, 10, 7, 8. That was awesome.
Death by a million paper cuts.
2 million. 3?
3 paper cuts?
3 million. Okay, sorry. I should have specified. That's fair, actually. Thank you for checking me on that one. I appreciate it.
19th minute now. Gleedle does get a poke of it, and it's poked free, and it's with Arteaga on the counter and on the move. Trejo's cutting in, right side of the box, now on the left foot, and given away. Gleedle made up for the mistake by rushing back and providing the crucial defending. 20 minutes through, still yet with a real chance for either side, aside from that one off the left post earlier in the match for Phoenix.
But that last move is what makes Phoenix so deadly. We can see them play the 50 straight passes and really break you down by all the paper cuts in the world, but then they can go in a flash and really take you out with a hammer. It's the best of both worlds. They can figure it out either way. Whatever you're going to give them, they're going to take, and they're going to take it well.
Near side now, Robinson takes a step into the attacking half, plays a dangerous lot pass in the midfield. It's sniffed down, it's picked off. Harvey and Gallardo, the meteor himself, making his move, and Arteaga on a flipping ball to the far side touchline. I call him the meteor because he's that quick.
This is true.
Lambert. Dixon shadowing him as the ball moves back for Fuenmayor. A rumble out of the south end as Fuenmayor rumbles forward. Uzachukwu hugging the touchline and now playing a second-time ball into the box, and at the D. It's intercepted by Kai Green and played back for Herrera. Just on the edge of the area. That's a great ball out of midfield to open up Phoenix. Trudging down the right side, a whole host of Monterey players as they'll walk it up into the final third. Now Dixon. Near side, Dixon curled ball right into the forehead of Kevin Lambert. Moby Fair's jousting with Danny Trejo, and Trejo has all of that duel and a little bit more. And Lambert and Rios Novo. After that brief interruption, an annoyance if that, Phoenix Rising resumed possession. Diagonal ball through midfield to Zambrano from Rios Novo. Zambrano dances with it for a moment, and the Flamengo yields no yardage upfield. He has to go back for Rios Novo. Rios Novo scanning the whole pitch. Just jogging with it forward, and now sending Crutzen up the line on the left side. Almost an elevator-type motion as he advanced down that touchline and starts to connect with Gallardo, and now Torres, and all the way back for Harvey, who's filling in behind Crutzen. Defensive shape, and Harvey plays a quick 1-2, just kicking about right now. Rising Zambrano finds room to turn and sprays a pass on the left side. First Torres, and now Gallardo. Gallardo into the center of the park, and Fair recovers to chest it down and take it off Rising. Dixon dropping all the way into his own half just to get a sniff, and Harvey pressing. Panamanian powerhouse proving problematic for Monterey. Forces a giveaway, but quickly picked right back up by Monterey, and in an offside position it was touched. I believe the man caught out as Christian Valesky. Free kick to come for Phoenix as they restart quickly. 23rd minute. Still scoreless, and Rising can possess the ball till the cows come home. They've got to create something at some point.
160 passes so far for Phoenix. It's exactly what you'd want from phases 1, 2, 3. Phase 4, that finishing area that you want to try and take advantage of. Not enough shots for Phoenix so far. They've not been able to break down this Monterey Bay team. They've had plenty of success in the middle of the park, but none going forward, really, other than a couple of chance balls like this one from Harvey.
And it's a doozy. Harvey on a line, just put it right on the chest of Uzachukwu. That's out of this galaxy. Uzachukwu back for Lambert. He just orbits on a different plane, Harvey. He's proven he's at that level so far as he picks it up in midfield and immediately locates Uzuchukwu in yards of space. Cutting into green grass on the right side of the box, and maybe took a touch too much as it's pilfered away from him. And now Gleedle looks to strum up the counter. Arriving on his right side, a free runner. It was Hugh Roberts, but first to it, Crutzen. Beg your pardon, that actually Maury Donor. The teal numbers on the white kit not doing us any favors here from up in the corner.
Full transparency, I hate it.
It looks nice at least. Harvey walking forward. His opponent huffing and puffing as they watch the ball move from side to side with little effort from Phoenix. Harvey plays to Fuenmayor and then receives it right back. And then makes a rare error as skewing ball off his right foot curls beyond the toes of Gabby Torres on the far side. Ball back in. Moby Fair. Cutting through midfield dangerously, but doing well. That's Maury Donor. He plays from fullback to fullback, and Grant Robinson springs Dixon in. Lambert eyes on him, walks him into the corner as Dixon picks it up ahead of the byline. Driven ball on the floor. Hoofed out by Valesky, and now at the feet of Fair. Bouncing ball finds Revelar, edge of the area, and then a missed touch. Just rolls it right to Rios Novo. First sparks of life in the attack, though, for Monterey.
Dixon hugging the touchline close enough to hear it. It was a fantastic run, a fantastic ball. Just no chance creation for Monterey Bay as well. Teams have combined for .36 XG so far. That's all Phoenix. Monterey Bay have yet to take a shot through the first 25 of this game.
They have been clinical so far this year, pretty much cashing in everything they've looked at. Of course, we mentioned Dixon is 6 for 6 on chances so far this year. Every shot he's taken has found the back of the net.
That's good.
It's not bad. This Monterey Bay side that lost 6 of its first 7 matches last year, starting with a 4-2 drubbing in Phoenix that was 4-0 at the half. Looking to find that little extra spark and energy under Frank Yallop in year 2 as a long switching ball out of midfield is beyond the reach of Uzuchukwu on the right side.
And talk about Frank Yallop a little bit. He's kind of maybe the perfect guy you'd want to start an expansion team in Monterey Bay with.
Look out, his team trying to expand into the attacking half now. Ball over the shoulder of Valesky. Fuenmayor will sweep up, and that's a great ball from the back by Rios Novo. Right to the feet. Room service for Kevin Lambert, and just calmly dealing with the pressure there. The young goalkeeper. Now a long ball out of the back off the boot of Fuenmayor. And a foul in midfield. First time we really get to say the name of the center official here today. That's Katerina Kovaleva. The rest of the crew is Karsten Gilwald, Hunter Zakwesha, and Alan Martinez. We've seen Alan Martinez as the center official earlier this year for Phoenix, with Katerina as the 4th. Ball up high, headed on by Grant Robinson. Nobody's really there to chase it. Lambert will be the one to reach it.
Some are asking, to be frank, some are you, me, and Owen Evans. Is Alan Martinez the new Dejan Susak?
I'm asking where Dejan is.
I don't think he does this anymore. I think he's become too legendary to do this anymore. It's not worth it. He's retired, essentially. That's a grand way of putting it.
Crushing blow to morale. Kevin Lambert cutting a ball into midfield. Falls heavily at the feet of Zambrano. Bounces right back to Lambert, though, fortunately for Rising. I think Phoenix right now just trying to shift the field a little bit. Do something maybe unpredictable and exciting. Maybe this is it. Danny Trejo bouncing in off a scattered 50-50 ball, but that's well defended. Now Sam Gleedle finds the ball at feet and waits on an overlapping run. Donor made himself available, but Rising got back in time to turn the advance away for the moment. Here's Robinson now down the near side. Alex Dixon. And Moby Fair. And Yoseki. Via 4 passes from the near side to the far side for Gleedle. In the 28th minute, Monterey Bay settle in. Long ball into the channel. Valesky bounces it off his head and just mortars it right into the gloves of Rios Novo. Half an hour gone. Still scoreless. Phoenix Rising have completed about 90% of their passes. They've had about 65% of the ball.
200 of them completed, that is. About 220 that they've been able to possess and play.
Well, 201 is dangerous down the left side. Gabby Torres clatters in, and he's bounced off the ball. No whistle. Right at the byline. On the left side was looking to cross it in. Monterey build out from the back. Revelar touches into a bit of space ahead of Crutzen. That's a blind ball into the middle of the park for Velasquez that Flenmayor will get to first. Ongera looking on from his dugout. All black for him, that's nothing new. A t-shirt today. Showing off the guns. That's what you do the work for. Gallardo. And still Gallardo. And the Meteor makes some room. And Arteaga sprays the ball from the left side of the box to the right side. Uzachukwu. Now he crosses in, waiting for it, headed down towards goal! And it's just wide. The south end. Way to gape as they thought that ball rippled the back of the net. Two Rising players were there, I think chiefly among those Arteaga.
Yeah, it's really the first opportunity Phoenix have had in almost 20 minutes. This game has gone stale and almost a chess match. Well, that was the first big opportunity for someone to move the needle in quite some time. It was a great ball, and Uzachukwu drove it and leaned back just to get enough level on it. Drifting towards the far post, Arteaga was there, couldn't put it away.
Herrera boots it long. Harvey is able to just deliver it back for Crutzen. And that's a bad ball out of the back. Gleadle right on top of it. Crutzen does well. And Flenmayor will sweep it up and start the move in motion. You know, Phoenix Rising have scored 5 goals this year. It's about 10th in the league at this point. Of course, they played 1 match less than most of the teams in this league, but it's not been through this long, articulating passages of play that you would expect for Juan Guerra. It's really, for the most part, been long balls that in 1 or 2 passes end up in the back of their opponent's net.
Correct. So, but that comes purely from the possession-based style that Phoenix are able to go and play.
Arteaga up from the ball off the foot of Flenmayor, as you were saying.
And so, basically what's happening is Phoenix are almost, not necessarily lulling you to sleep, but because they're shifting you to one side.
Rising hunting impacts, not letting you finish the thought. Heavy ball landing on the right foot of Trejo. And he can't settle it. Gleadle jagging through midfield, and still somehow he's maneuvered by 3 or 4 red shirts. Now calmly just plays back for Robinson.
So your whole goal with the possessional-based style is to force the team to one side of the pitch. You get the ball into a guy with space who can whip a cross-field diagonal. Basically, let's put it this way. Rising might have the ball on the left side. They're going to try and attract their opponent, in this case Monterey Bay, to that far side. Give a little back pass to Daniel Crutzen, pick your head up, long diagonal feed of Uzachukwu. He's free, he's broken. So it's a move that feels like it's very direct. It feels like it's 1-2 passes, you break free. But it's all because of the way Phoenix play with the possession, with the style of play that they operate in.
Ball down line, Phoenix thinking about defending for the time being. Yoseki in the middle of the park. Roberts and Moby Fair sweeping the ball right with his right foot. And now picking out his pass wide. Donor. Kai Green and Roberts. And Dixon dropping into midfield, recycling the ball back to Yoseki. 33rd minute. Moby Fair. And still Fair as Arteaga breathes down his neck. Forces him off the ball. Wide for Donor. Passing feeling a bit ambitionless right now, as finally there's the one that goes astray for Monterey. Picked up by Crutzen, and now Gabby Torres looking for somewhere to go. Somehow finds Trejo, who chases it towards Herrera. Herrera a little frantically up out of his own goal, but he deals with it. Finds the feet of Robinson and return right back for him to clear. Herrera nearly gave it away again. Roberts struggling with it. That is not calm stuff out of the back from the goalkeeper. Out for a throw as Roberts just wasn't going to take the chance there.
And there's maybe the first time we've seen Carlos Herrera and gone, okay, why are you here? Like, why is he the goalkeeper today? I still don't get it.
Even still, Monterey Bay trying to do something to give him some insurance in net as they work out of their own end, but settle the ball with the 5 digits of the hands. Those planes landing that's really never going to get old, I don't think.
No, it's cool. I agree. It's one of the many charms that this venue can bring to anyone in this league.
34th minute, free kick to come into the south end.
Why isn't Anthony Siaha starting for Monterey Bay?
I can't tell you. Carlos Herrera trying to mind his goal. Crutzen cast a long shadow as he sets up to the left side of a 2-man wall. Call it about 35 yards from goal. Curling ball to the 6-yard box and headed over the frame. Wasn't a bad effort. Wasn't quite good enough. I think that came off Gabby Torres. You're right, Ryan. Crutzen can't hit those.
It's got enough whip and enough pace from that area to cause every single problem in the world.
Robinson settling off the goal kick. Hounded by Uzachukwu. Joining in that pursuit is Danny Trejo, and Robinson's able to wriggle free and win a throw. Now taking quickly, bouncing to the feet of Valesky. Gallardo needed to step in, did. Play on, advantage played as Gallardo spun down. Now another hard tackle from Yaseki. That'll be a card. First caution of the night. Not only was the first foul on Yaseki, the second one was as well. There's a rising player waiting a moment to rise to their feet. I think that might be Gabby Torres. It is, and he's up. Babu Jai would be the reserve left back today.
I almost wonder if you had to go to that route, just thinking theoretically, because Torres back up on his feet. I think you'd rather put Eddie Manjoma in on the right and move Uzo over to the left, just to have that creativity, that athleticism going both ways.
Planes, trains, and free kicks. Phoenix Rising trying to find the route forward into the goal. Crutzen. Another one to take. 36-minute 0-0. On the ground to Zambrano, right side of the box. Zambrano cutting ball into the area. Taken off him by Valesky and Grant Robinson. And the covering Uzachukwu deals with it. Roberts flings himself into action and just stabs it away for a rising throw in the final third on the right side.
I didn't quite understand the shot from what was 35 yards out from Renzo.
It was a shot?
It looked like a shot. It looked like he was winding, firing, and trying to deliver. If it was a pass, it wasn't very good. It was to nobody.
Either way, it didn't get where it needed to go.
And still Phoenix have the ball because Monterey Bay willingly allowing them to have it is so crazy, so fascinating to me as a coaching decision. I understand the pluses to it, but still, I love the way Juan Guerra coaches his team. We want to demand the ball. We want to have 70-80% possession. And against a team like Monterey Bay, you're going to be allowed to have those kinds of numbers. I love it. I love these meshes of games, these tactical battles, both in style and on the field, but also in ideology. Two different ways of thinking, going at it, going to war collectively together.
Zambrano sprays it to the near side. Lambert and Arteaga can't control it. Moby Fair. Arteaga doing his best to win it back. Fair clawing it away from him and just shuffling it down line, but Fuenmayor is right there in stride. 38th minute and Rising recycle possession to the left side now.
And
forward for Gallardo. Gallardo fumbles it away. And Gleedle. And on the counter, and a crucial intervention by Crutzen as Valesky made a slicing run from the center of the park to the left flank. Rising looked to break out now. Gallardo forward for Trejo and cleared away by Roberts, who rotated over and blared that ball into the left-sided stands. A throw in to come.
And perhaps the correct comp through the first 38 minutes and also in those last couple sets of passages is it's a good offensive coach. It's Andy Reid versus a good defensive coach. It's Bill Belichick. This back-and-forth battle of how they're going to attack each other, what decisive decisions they're going to go and make. That's really what it is.
Here's Moby Fair emerging from the scrum, and on the right side there are options. Gleedle is one, the other one is Moby Fair. Well-weighted ball will arrive at his feet in the corner. Runners into the box. Fair outswinging cross. Lambert rises, and the big Jamaican deals with it. And now Gabby Torres asking questions the other way. A rebuttal from Rising. Gallardo and Trejo in midfield, switching the point of attack from the left to the right. Uzochukwu's on his horse and pedaling fast. Henry Uzochukwu. Uzo, back foot cross. Gallardo's there. Gallardo! Oh, nearly up and over the bar. Cut it. Full volley, left foot, scooped it up over Herrera and just couldn't meet the mark.
It's all about the move. It was so flawless again from Phoenix to find the decision making, to find the moment, yet you still lack the finish. When does it come for a Rising team who are so good in possession, top 5 in the league so far through 4 games in that number, but when it comes to chance creation and chance finishing, they're bottom half. They're 14th in the league in XG. They're almost even worse than that. They're actually better, in 10th, but it doesn't feel like it in terms of straight up goals. It's a frustrating thing to look at when you've got a team who's top 5 in chance creation, top 5 in possession, but nowhere near the top 5 in expected goals and goals themselves.
Just need to find that sharp end.
Maybe
that one player that can make it happen at the business end of things.
And maybe you have that player on your roster. Maybe it's Jackson Conway. I'm not advocating for Conway over Arteaga. I, in fact, think Arteaga should start in this team because of all the things he does. But maybe that guy is Conway, who scored a lot of goals last year for an Atlanta United 2 team that is nowhere near as chance creative as this Rising team is. Yeah, he's just stuck on your bench, just hanging out wearing number 28. Give him the 9, give him a chance. Let's see what he can do is maybe the question. Maybe that's a little too rash this early in the season. I don't know.
As you say that, Arteaga, a poor touch that falls neatly for Gleedle. Nice sliding tackle by Flenmayor, but it's not going to stop the advance. Gleedle's right-footed shot is blocked. Maybe a little premature as Harvey, of course Harvey, is the one that walls the shot off. Looked like he had options there. Gleedle wanted to go it himself. He's earned that chance. He leads the league, tied with his teammate Dixon with 5 goal contributions so far this year.
And once again, it's Carlos Harvey sweeping it up. The Rising fans, they don't fall in love with the guy. He's above this level. Frankly, he's above this level. He's a guy, if Phoenix can keep him, that shows the intent that this club has.
Uzochukwu's found a route forward, but it's because he's crept in offside. He's going to press the issue down that right touchline, though, always testing the boundaries.
He might also be above this level. You look at Uzo, you look at Harvey, in the positions and the roles that the two of them play, I think they could both waltz in to an MLS side and make the match day 18 every single match day. An RSL that's struggling right now in the top flight, both of them could find their way there and I think have some success.
I want to talk about above the level. He's made 12 appearances in the Europa Conference League, playing for one of the best teams in Sweden the previous couple of years. Here's Trejo off a throw-in from Lambert, trying to pry open some spaces. Uzochukwu overlaps him and clipped out for a throw. Rising to take.
You can tell, right? You can sense the swagger whenever he gets on the ball. You can sense that he's so good in one-on-ones, both offensively and defensively. It's just flawless and phenomenal.
Trejo trying to take them all on. Eventually does lose it. Not for lack of effort, but here's Gleedle dropping in. Now he's seeing much more of the ball and finding a friendly feet or 2. And forward still. And falling over is Maury Donor. But he gets back up and he keeps it. And now he loses it. And Crutzen half-heartedly clears, but ends up with Gallardo, who slows it up for a moment. And Zambrano looks up and swings it over to Uzochukwu, who has plenty of room on the right side. Rushing back is Revelar, and left behind Harvey. Carrying around midfield, ultimately ending with Yoseki. Approaching stoppage time now. Vibrant atmosphere. Still waiting to truly come alive. Fair, Yoseki. Stops a dime by Maury Donor. Kai Green and Moby Fair. And now on the right side in their own half. Trying to work beyond the way the pressure's been set up by Juan Guerra, Monterey Bay. And they cannot, they give it back. Zambrano and Harvey. Lambert rushing to the right side with runners at all angles. One of them is Uzochukwu again. Sizing up Robinson, square ball towards the byline. Uzochukwu can't get there. Bouncing around and over that last line and out for a goal kick. Thought it might be a corner for Phoenix. the wave breaks out. Switching from side to side. Our producer gets in our ear, says that the side sections aren't that great at this. It's always starting in the north end and dying somewhere on the sides.
I feel like that's every stadium, though. I feel like you always have one section that's lagging. It often is the much larger middle section.
This is a big venue, one that's sold out in Rising's home opener. Decent crowd on hand here tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 7,000 or 8,000. Trejo, little juggle in midfield. Links up well with Zambrano, who even better still finds Uzuchukwu and Zambrano, and he boots the ball, booming and boomeranging all the way from the right to Gabby Torres. A little late for him to get in action down that left side. Now Crutzen and Gabby Torres inverting into midfield. And return back for Gallardo from Arteaga, and Gallardo whips one over, hitting out for a goal kick. Was trying to find Uzuchukwu on the far side.
And now I present you, as we enter the 45th minute, the key stat of this game. With all the possession that Rising have had, 58% so far, they've got 6 touches inside Monterey's box. That's not good enough. Monterey, with as little of the ball they've got one themselves. Too much side-to-side movement as a team, as a unit for Phoenix. I think the leading pass combination between Rising so far is Fuenmayor, the center back, to Rios Novo, the goalkeeper, and second is Fuenmayor, the center back, to Crutzen, the other center back. Too much side-to-side for Phoenix. Find a way to get more opportunities inside the opposition's 18.
Rising trying to pick the lock. Instead, they might found themselves picked back. Down the right side, Gleedle into the box, cutting in, falling on the edge of the 6 and skewed over the goal. Valesky hammered it with the outside of his boot. But before that, the whistles of halftime. Katarina Koileva blows twice, and Phoenix is scoreless after 45 with Monterey Bay.
Yeah, no stoppage time because this game had nothing in the final thirds. It had everything. Though in the middle part of the pitch, in the defensive half of the pitch. The chess match that's going on right now is wonderful, but people come to see goals. People listen to see goals. They're coming. The opportunities and the ideas are there. What's next, though? You've got to find a way to make those ideas into real, tangible things, and then you got to finish them off and put a goal into the back of the net. That's the next step for both of these teams. More touches, rather, in the opposition box is what you need going forward.
Rising have made many passes in that first half, 300 in total, but all to do still, yet to put one on the board. As we step aside here on Rising Radio, Goose Eggs after 45 between Phoenix Rising and Monterey Bay.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. Here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
You've always wanted to go to college, correct?
Yeah.
Well, here's that invitation you've been waiting for.
Joey, out of bed.
Wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
I'm Naheem Hines, proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom has muscular dystrophy, and the MDA helps her and kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 12 years old. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. And MDA funds over 150 care centers for kids like me.
For over 70 years, MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Learn more at mda.org today.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Match day number 5 and still scoreless. 45 down, 45 to go between Monterey Bay and Phoenix Rising. Appreciate you being with us. Elon Musk has seen to it that we are not on Twitter tonight, but we are on Facebook and we are on YouTube, and we appreciate you being here. Peyton Gallagher, Ryan Sikora. And Ryan, that was a metronomic first half that saw some good flashes from Phoenix, but nothing to write home about yet to find that first goal.
It could be better. It can always be better, of course, but when you don't have enough opportunities in the attacking third, it's never a good thing, Peyton, right? Everything's been flawless in the defensive third, through the middle third. Your build-up's been great. You've got 270 accurate passes, 300 total passes, 90% passing accuracy. You can go on and on and off. 118 passes in the opposition half, though. When you've got that many passes, isn't that good? 269 passes, and only half of them have been in the opposition half. That's not good enough. It's too much side to side. It's too much back to the goalkeeper. It's too much backwards facing. Take a risk. Uzo has been great on the right side. Torres has been hit or miss on the left. Arteaga in this game has really not been able to find anything forward. He's got 5 touches, maybe 6 or 7 on the ball. He's really not been that impactful in this game. You got to find a way to get him opportunities closer to where he wants to be, which is the 6-yard box.
Feels like Phoenix has missed that undressing quality of Fede Varela in midfield at the 10 so far in the match. They don't really have that ability to bring somebody on and change the terms of engagement, so it's going to be up to Gallardo and Trejo to find a way to create the moment of opportunity. Can they do it?
I wager you one thing. This might be the Jose Andres Hernandez game. He might be the guy that you can pick out of that bench and say, hey, come in, find a space in the attacking third. Find a way to break a line with your dribble. We haven't seen Harvey really carry a dribble that much. He's playing as a true 6 today, not much so as a true 10 like we saw him in Birmingham. Rising aren't picking up the right spaces. They haven't found the way to break down this low block. For all the prettiness of their play, there's been nothing tangible to go and hang on to for Phoenix. And you are really, really struggling to break down MBUFC so far. How do you do that? More variance, more movement in midfield, more Harvey in different spots than we've seen him, more Zambrano, more interchanging from your 2 10s in Eriksson and Trejo. Find a way. Maybe drop Arteaga in for stretches and stretch different. You've got to find different mathematical equations to equal one result, which is goals. Find a way to change things up, switch it around, and then you might have some success. Keep Monterey on their toes.
Should be said, Phoenix has found 4 goals of their 5 on the year in the second half of games. They've been able to open things up. Juan Guerra, looking at his team right now, in your mind, Ryan, 8 guys on the bench. Is there a change to be made out of the dressing room?
No, not yet. I don't think so. And it doesn't look like anyone is warming up hard enough to do that. Maybe Conway? Maybe if you want really that target in Arteaga off the pitch and you want to bring on an even bigger target in Conway, but I don't think anything for the next 10 or so minutes.
Ryan, if there's one word in your mind that Rising need to break the duck, break the deadlock, and get that first goal, what is it?
Uniqueness. Have some uniqueness to your game. Have some flair. Have some moments. Just find a way to be creative and change this game around with both the system and your individual play. It's too rigid right now.
More from halftime here at Phoenix Rising Stadium on the bend of 38th and Washington. Coming up, Phoenix have sniffed it. They haven't quite caught it yet, though. They're still looking for the first goal. It's 0-0 between them and Monterey Bay on Rising Radio.
Does this sound familiar? Tired of listening to this every day? How does this sound? Tune in to BlazeRadioOnline.com. With thousands of songs on display, you can be sure to sing your blues away via our broadcast, running from 6 a.m. to midnight every day of the week.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Bro, you ever wondered how you could get paid to watch sports or like
Halftime here, 0-0 between Phoenix Rising and Monterey Bay FC. Rising had the one real chance that glanced off the far post, and other than that, it's just not much happening. They've only attempted at this point, Ryan, 3 dribbles the whole game, and it's crying out for that player to go on the Macy run and open it all up.
Yeah, can you guess who the 3 are?
Probably Carlos Harvey or Erickson Gallardo.
Harvey, Uzo, which is, I think, probably a given.
Makes sense.
And Danny Trejo. That's it. And Harvey's only attempted 1. He was so good at ball carrying a week ago in Birmingham, and today he's come out and maybe the obvious answer that they've only had 3 dribbles and only 2 of them successful is because they're playing a low block. It's harder to dribble against a
less space
4-4-2 low block, 4-3-3 low block, whatever you want to call it. There's less space to exploit as you bring up, yeah? But you can't just pass your way around this group. You have to interchange. You have to have creativity, that uniqueness, that quality in midfield to take someone on, that confidence. Uzo doesn't ever lack it. Harvey really shouldn't ever lack it. He's got such a big, bruising frame that makes dribbling so easy. Paul Pogba was so good at dribbling, not because he had this elite technical quality, which he did, but he was also 6'3" and he could just shove people past him. Harvey has that at this level. He can just pick up one ball, open your hip, drive forward, use your frame to your advantage. Try and take one guy on. Usually the idea is you get a touch, you beat him, you move it on. Once you beat a guy, you shoot or you pass. But they're not beating anybody to make that type of decision. Harvey has the opportunity to take somebody on, beat him, make a pass, create some chaos, and Rising can thrive off that. They just need to do a better job of taking somebody on.
If there isn't any solace from that first 45, I think, though, conversely, they found a way to take the league's leading goal scorer almost entirely out of the match. Hardly called the name of Alex Dixon.
Well, we've hardly called the name of anyone for Monterey Bay, except for maybe Sam Gleadle. Maybe, obviously, we've spoken about Carlos Herrera. I don't need to say any more than that. But Gleadle has been the guy that's been creating opportunities. Dixon's being allowed to get free. We've seen a lot from the fullbacks for MBUFC so far. Rising have dominated this game, as expected. 60% of the ball, as expected. But they just need one opportunity. Create 1 or 2 more chances, and you have hope that maybe this game can turn fully towards your tide.
We got about 3.5 minutes until the second half starts. On the other side for Monterey Bay, you mentioned it, Gleadle has been the straw that stirred the drink for the most part. Rising have done a decent job of marking him out, but he's looked a little dangerous. Do you expect him to get a little bit more room in the second half?
Maybe. I don't know. I think that's sort of the next check. And I think saying I don't know is kind of an easy cop-out, of course, but you really don't. That's the next level is what does Juan Guerra do? What does Frank Yallop do? There's this opportunity. I think Guerra, what we've seen from him, you mentioned those 5 goals, 4 of them in the second half. He's been great at the chess matches. He's been great at finding the moment to make the swap and finding the right tweak in his tactical game to do. We saw it against Charleston. We saw it at moments in other games. We definitely saw it against Birmingham. That's the next step, figuring out what change to make, when to make it, and how it affects this game. Pretty much Juan Guerra has been an ace at that so far this season.
No tweak in shape, very quickly.
I don't know, not yet. Not for the first 15.
We'll give you a couple minutes to think about it. We'll step aside for a moment. Second half on tap here on Rising Radio, 0-0 between Monterey Bay and Phoenix Rising.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
I'm Naheem Hines, proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom has muscular dystrophy, and the MDA helps her and kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 12 years old. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. And MDA funds over 150 care centers for kids like me.
For over 70 years, MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Learn more at mda.org today.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
And the break ends. Two sides huddled on opposite sides of a center field line. Monterey Bay, Phoenix Rising, nose to nose and face to face, and still scoreless.
Yeah, no chances really. None of real tangible. You look at it and you go, oh my gosh, they should have scored that one. Maybe one or two for Phoenix, but nothing out of this world. That's the problem right now. It's pretty in the middle of the pitch, but it's not perfect in the attacking areas of the park.
Jose Andres Hernandez gets in motion. They're on the near touch line. The side, though, for the time being, unchanged for both managers, both gaffers. They're going to let this one play out for the time being. Rising, going from right to left on the radio dial. Gallardo scans, plan in mind. The words of Juan Guerra still ringing in his ears.
I will say this, Peyton. I don't see the bright orange boots of Sam Gleadle out there for Monterey Bay. You wonder what that is.
Maybe a tire change. I believe the side is still unchanged as the ball is bouncing around midfield and we set off for the second half. We'll update you when we can. There was no substitution made by the fourth official, but Monterey Bay's not wasting a second to thrust the ball into the box of Phoenix Rising to be dealt with by Carlos Harvey. Harvey backs it out. Lambert, far side. And now Crutzen. And up ahead, Gallardo waits on it, but first to it, Moby Fair. Ball takes one touch down to be claimed by Zambrano. And now Gabby Torres trudging ahead and takes a firm tackle right on his right leg and is down hard in the center circle. Looks like Chase Boone has come on for Sam Gleadle. Gabby Torres writhing in pain. He felt that one hard, took a long touch, and as he caught back up to it, shucked right away from the ball by a firm challenge. There was no caution shown there. I think it was fair play. But because of the injury, play has stopped. And after having not a single moment of stoppage time in the first half, stoppage time starting to count upwards in the first minute of the second.
Chase Boone comes in. That's an interesting one. You bring in a guy like him, new to the team, and you have an opportunity. If you're Boone, he's going to replace the guy that we've deemed the most important man on the pitch today in Sam Gleadle. I'm sure the same role will hold true for Boone in terms of the ways he is picking up the spaces for the opposition in Monterey Bay today.
Should be said that Boone does have 2 assists in his last 3 games. Only played 18 minutes against New Mexico. Career best 8 goals and 2 assists for him last year, so not a scrub to bring out of the dugout for Frank Yallop.
Super sub.
Torres is back up, hobbles towards the touchline. Rising were to make a change on that side. We mentioned Bamboo Jai. Mohamed Traore provides an option as well. It's again another player, though, that Juan Guerra wouldn't have available to him to push up into the attack and play that number 10.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier that Manjoma would be my choice. You put Manjoma onto the right, you bring Uzo over to the left, you get him more opportunities to go one-on-one and cut inside maybe, but probably the more common and normal decision would be to go to Traore if Torres can't continue.
Of course, we saw Traore in the opener against Charleston. We also saw him in the Open Cup. Played very well in both matches, frankly. As Babu Jai trots over and looks to be the change, and the ball moves. Traore again not picked, the LAFC loanee. Hazardous ball out of the back, given away by Fuenmayor. Rushing in to try and make it back up is Crutzen. And now he's down. So he's doubled over. Was fouled trying to pick the ball back up. I think it may have been Moby Farrer. No, it's Rebelar. Adrian Rebelar. We got too much of the man and not enough of the ball. Crutzen is back up, though. Rising for the time being, playing with 10 men. Waiting to check Babu Jai in. Fuenmayor flings it over to the far side for Uzochukwu off the dead ball. Doesn't get it there, out for a throw now. A long throw taken. Lambert able to step in front as that ball had eyes for the channel. Fuenmayor was a step late trying to get back to his natural center back position. Now the ball rolling back to Rios Novo, who will of course take it at feet as he so often does and spring a beautiful ball into the middle of the park for Zambrano. Finding Gabby Torres, who's come back on and is hobbling. He's going to go straight down. Tried to give it a go, but decided that was not in him tonight. Vizio quickly up and out, and this will almost certainly be the change.
Yeah, and it'll be Babacar Jai. So curious to me. Flat out, I have never doubted a Juan Guerra decision. I won't doubt this one for 1 second, but it is curious when you think about what Traore has done this year, Peyton, what he's done when he's looked pretty good. I mean, Charleston, he was maybe the best player on the pitch. He was Uzo before Uzo had even made an appearance for Phoenix. And then in the cup match against Greenville, he was fantastic. He was really, really good. So you're looking and trying to find a way to maybe piece this game together, find a replacement for Torres. You've got two athletes that you can bring in on that side. You've got two real opportunities in Jai, who's in a wonderful position athletically as a player, and Traore, who might even be that little bit better. So you're changing the way you play just a little bit. I just think Traore, for me, he's younger, he's better, he's a little more crucial to what you want to do in terms of your loan system from MLS. He needs to play because he's coming from MLS. It's an interesting one to me. I'm not sure if I really agree with it, but we'll see where it goes.
That said, a whole lot of pace on this near side now.
Yes, and he brings that, and so would Traore have, but Jai adds an element, and now it's a more balanced side in terms of Torres at feet and Uzochukwu on the right with much more burst going forward. Now it's a little bit of both, and last time we saw Babu, to be fair, grabbed an assist in that Greenville game. He looked pretty good when he got the full run out in that one as well.
Torres limping off. You want to talk about somebody who will go on a run and maybe complete a dribble or two. Number 6 in red is the man. He's the one injected in the stead of Gabby Torres, who exits injured. The voice of PA man Jeff Munn.
Yes, Moneyball.
Some have called him this.
He's cool. He's had a long day. I think he was at Pat's Run this morning. Like what is that, like
ASU spring game?
7 a.m. I don't know. Did he do the spring game? He might have.
I'm not sure. You were the one who was there.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the PA guy. And then he's here. So that's a healthy wage of the day for Jeff Munn. And now Babacar Jai gets a chance to earn a living out here on the field. He's struggled at times this year. I will fully admit it, but he's got an opportunity. He's in an offside position right there. That's why Gallardo can't give him the ball.
Gallardo does turn the corner, though, and does finally play forward for Jai, who goes shoulder to shoulder right in front of us. Really had no chance of playing it, so instead decided to make a fair play at Maury Donor there, and Donor, I'm not sure if he really knows fully where he is. And there's a foul. It's not going to be a goal kick. It will be a throw-in, actually, excuse me. All of the above, please.
What? Was that a throw-in? Did that cross? That was a throw-in? Gnarly.
I will say the AR on that side was on the opposite side of the pitch there. Into the channel, Arteaga into the box, wasting not a moment. Falling for Babu Jai, hanging cross pass post. Uzuchukwu up, Trejo up, Herrera up, and he's got it. And a long throw and a good throw. Dixon on the move. Down the right side, a chop. And a chop down by Zambrano. Advantage played. And Donor somehow keeps it on. No, he doesn't. And they're going to bring it back for the free kick now.
And that's what Babu Jai brings you, that last possession of, he just gives you that variance, that opportunity to change the pace of the game. But he had an easy layoff option to Erickson Gallardo, who could have lasered one across the floor. He had all the opportunity to face the way he played. Kind of a curious decision from Jai, but we've become used to that. And sometimes his variance is something that you're looking for. Those curious decisions in this kind of game is something you're out and searching for.
Ball switched from the left. Kai Green to the right. Donor, and Donor just can't quite keep it on. Throw and taken by Jai. It's a good ball off the left foot of Jai to link up with Fuenmayor. Trejo checking in, presenting an option. Instead, Fuenmayor rainbows the ball to Jai, who's crept in. Flag staying down, Jai in the box on his left foot. Jai shot blocked out by Donor. And Babu Jai, hello, welcome to the match.
He is fun, I will give him that. He is an extreme joy to watch.
Throw in coming. Right side of the area in the final third. Long throw, laced right onto the right foot of Harvey, who thought about a shot and now pivots the ball wide. Lambert and Uzuchukwu on the far side. Uzuchukwu toying with his defender. No open avenues though. Back for Lambert at the midfield strike. Fuenmayor and now to the near side, Krutzen. And Krutzen opened up a little bit too much. Sprayed the pass wide of Jai and out for a throw.
That might be the first misplaced pass I've ever seen Daniel Krutzen play. It was not a very good one.
It's a lot of pressure, though, that Rising can put on that right side when Gallardo checks into that half space, and hugging the touchline there is Jai. Going coming. Harvey struggling with it, but he wrangles it up. Lambert ducking and diving through midfield and played forward by Harvey and returned right back to him by Zambrano. And Krutzen gets the ball back and cuts in the midfield, and he's still going and golfs a beautiful ball right onto the chest of Uzuchukwu. Uzuchukwu waiting for the cavalry to arrive on the right side of the box. Going at Robinson, putting it between his legs and rolling it over the line. Thought it may have taken a deflection on the way there, so does Henry. Herrera's not going to play around though. We'll roll the ball out. Boom. Monterey trying to escape a pack of Rising players in midfield. Hughes still hounded. Wide for Kai Green. Gallardo step for step, and misintended ball is going to fall for Krutzen, who wildly flings at it. This is danger for Rising, and it's averted well by Fuenmayor. Out for a throw as Fuenmayor dealt with that. Counter-attacking prowess of Monterey, though, only takes one bad bounce. 56th minute. Harvey sent tumbling. He blew a tire as he tried to challenge in on Green. Yaseki turning in well, brilliantly so. Valesky, but the ball overran him and out for a goal kick.
Babu has sort of shifted the dynamic of this game. He's made it much more back and forth with his pace. Rising have taken back some of the control. So now we begin this back and forth match between the two teams.
Rios Novo rolls it back in play. Zambrano, long ball, trails on his bike. Instead, I'll watch it bounce once, twice for Uzuchukwu, and that is beautiful defending on that far side by Robinson. Won the foot race, won the battle, put it back in play for Hughes, and now plays a neat 1-2, but Harvey charges in, takes it off the midfielder Boone, forces a clearance from Hughes. Jai, 58th minute now, still scoreless. That long ball has fostered the best moments of opportunity for Phoenix. Almost certainly played by Flynn-Mayor, without doubt, every time.
It's been pretty much Rising's best bag today. They have found their most success off that long diagonal into the open space. They found their most opportune times to create.
Working hard to arrive at the ball. It's Donor. Jai gets there, and then Donor just falls over and wins a whistle.
That was a foul. That was a foul. Babu loses out on the ball, and Donor, as he escapes the other way, Babakar Chai just kind of doesn't fully grab at him and tackle him, but he just gets enough of a wrist and a grab that brings him down. It's an easy one in the defensive half of the field, though, for the center official, Cordeleva, to just grab this game under control that little bit more.
Hammering hit of the ball by Herrera. Everybody clumped up on that right side. It fell for Lambert on the left, and now Rising have room on that side. Uzuchukwu and now Trejo. Trejo spinning and twisting and thrusting a ball forward that Herrera will get to. Almost an hour gone. Rising yet to create the meaningful moment. Yoseki pressing harder now, though. Gallardo. Ball one clear by Kai Green. Settled down and taken at feet by Babu Jai, and now Lambert plays a 1-2 with Zambrano as he widens and fans forward. Provides an overlap for Uzuchukwu, who cuts the ball back towards Zambrano, who had made a forward run. Monterey Bay tackle it back. Donor chops it. He's going towards the touchline, cuts back towards the middle of the field, and back for Kai Green. Boone checks in, plays it right back for Green, and return to Yoseki. Donor. Boom. And actually Moby Fair. Now here's Boone. He's able to will himself past Lambert. Now a back heel flick and return into the box. This is danger, and Rios Novo walls it off at the near post, out for a corner. Blink of an eye for Frank Gallup's side, and they're right on the front foot.
That was the first real move we've seen from Monterey Bay, and it almost caused some trouble. Rios Novo protecting his near post well. Does a good job to get down quick. The Black Cat in goal for Phoenix.
Corner to come, appears to be an outswinger. Appears to be Moby Fair that presides over it. Two hands up, one ball in. Rios Novo locked up in goal, but it's flicked right towards him, and it's a penalty! A big collision in the air, and Monterey Bay had their chance to break through. It is so rare that you see a foul called on a corner kick like that. It was a big collision in the air, though. And Rios Novo will have to stand tall. It's Monterey Bay that eye the prize of a 1-0 lead, having just put their first shot on target of the match to earn the corner that earned the penalty. They now have their chance to go ahead.
It's on the far side. We're trying to figure out what number it is.
Don't believe any card was shown. 62nd minute. Still trying to sort this one out. It was Moby Fair's ball. It was a decent ball. Rios Novo was stuck in goal. And then Hugh Roberts was just somersaulted by Renzo Zambrano. Kai Green was also there. They really collided with each other. And after untangling that accordion knot of tension, Rising tormented by the prospect of falling behind in a match that they've dominated. Rios Novo on his line.
I think it's going to be Alex Dixon who's going to take it.
He's 1 of 1 this year on penalties.
He's 2 for 5 in his last 5 attempts. He's missed straight up the middle twice. He's missed to the right once. He's scored going to the goalkeeper's right.
Alex Dixon, the leading light in all the league in terms of goals scored with 5, looking for 6, looking for the point of difference in the 63rd. Bouncing on his line, the Black Cat from Argentina, the Lanús loanee, Rocco Rios Novo. 6 paces from the ball, straight on is Dixon. South End's frothing and foaming behind him. Here he comes, right down the middle and right to the lead, Monterey Bay. They grab hold, it's 1-0. He's gone straight down the center. 2 of his last 5 penalties. The 3rd time is the charm. That's what breaks through, and Monterey Bay have the lead.
And it's so well done for Monterey Bay to take that opportunity as it comes. This is what a good team, a pesky team, a plucky team that we discussed. That's exactly what Monterey Bay and Frank Yallop's team were. This team that's going to fight and claw for every chance, and once you give them one, they're going to take it. Dixon scores yet another one on his opportunity. Still perfect on the season, and now Phoenix have to chase.
And chase they do, straight into the box off the kickoff. Out for a throw off a header from Monterey Bay. It should be said, Rising went up 1-0 against Birmingham, and in less than a minute, we're looking evenly at a 1-1 scoreline. Things can happen quickly in this league. Rising will chase now. Still attempting to remain unbeaten on the hallowed grounds at 38th and Washington, their new home. Goodson thumbed forward. Lambert in the attacking half, and Uzochukwu. And back for Kevin. Ale Fuenmayor lofting an end-over-end ball. Jai up for it. Gallardo will have to try and recover it as Dixon picks it up and chips one into the channel for Velasquez. Rios Novo's out of goal. And what an important touch that was by Ale Fuenmayor to shepherd it into the corner, but now he gives it away. Won by Fair. Taken by Donor. Trying to carve himself some space forward. He's taking about 5 steps towards his own goal and plays back for Herrera, who sprays it into the middle of the park. Up for first Harvey. He'll try and win the second ball too. Kai Green boots it long. Skimming header off the forehead of Velasquez will be tracked down on the near side of the box by Rios Novo, who will dribble it into that box and now cut across that corner and take it out with his feet. Still Rios Novo. Near side Crutzen, skimming ball. Struggling to take it is Jai. Now Harvey. Swooped across midfield for Zambrano, and now Lambert at the midfield stripe. Little feint by Uzochukwu, and he turns the corner. Here he comes. Fighting forward into the box, and he's just yanked from behind by Grant Robinson. That's got to be a yellow. And it is. Cynical but smart.
Intelligent. I mean, you were beaten by Uzochukwu. You took it the other way. Uzo cascading into the 18. It foul was committed just outside of it, but still Phoenix now on the upward trajectory. You got to create. You've got to win a ball in the air. You've got the delivery so far today. Find a way to just create one real opportunity if you're Rising.
Free kick to come. It's Crutzen's to take. Line of engagement is the penalty spot on the near side.
Lambert at the back post.
Lambert at the back post. Trejo, Fuenmayor, Harvey, and Arteaga, those in the box. Jai makes a late joint on the left side. He's unmarked. Looks like man-to-man marking for Monterey, a 2-man wall. Herrera up off his line. Curling ball. Nearly found its way in, but is touched just wide by Herrera. Nervy goalkeeping.
But smart, quick off his line, knew just to get a piece on it. He didn't get a strong piece, but he got just enough. It was great delivery from Crutzen. I don't think he was shooting there, but he still caused the chaos.
67th minute, Gallardo's corner. Crutzen the short man. Gallardo swings in, up high, Lambert, it's level! What a ball, what a goal! And the captain brings Rising to even terms.
Blink it back. And no flips from Kevin Lambert. All business He runs straight back, says, everybody get back with me. A towering leap from 27 in red and black. A great bit of service from Erickson. Flawless from Phoenix to claw their way back into this one. And Captain Kev rises to the occasion for Phoenix Rising.
Captain Kev does have some ring to it. Rising's longest tenured Centurion. 7 years in standing. Breaks Rising through. Reaches them right back to level ground. And in the 68th minute, we start 0-0.
The definition of a captain's goal. Show up when your team needs you most. Why not?
1-1 in the literal sense, and Rising now have the momentum, the wind beneath their wings, the wind in their sails, but something to that, maybe Monterey, as they eke into the box. Yaseki retreating now. Monterey trying to get that lead back. Dixon trying to jive his way by. Carlos Harvey, a bad ball, and now Gallardo's on the case. Gallardo through for Trejo, he's in. Only Hughes in front of him. Flicked into the box, settled by Arteaga, fumbled by Arteaga. Still Arteaga, and no, it's a goal kick. Rising players in the near corner discontent with the call. Not sure Arteaga really got a clean touch of it. Even still, not sure it went out. The AR was on the opposite side of the goal. Corleva was behind the play, but did have a clean line of sight. Goal kick. Hung high in the night sky. One bounce, one header. Crutzen and Harvey injects himself into the fray and flicks it up over one man and gives it away. Donor. And slipped in towards the box, and a foul is going to be called. Free kick coming right side of the area. Looks like Moby fares over top this. Gallardo, the one man standing bravely in front of him. Single man wall. Rios Novo shifts his weight from left to right. In the mouth of his own goal. Flags flinging from side to side behind him. Ball in. Glancing header away. And back in. It's a great ball to the back post that just has a little bit too much left. Well played in there from the left side. Looked like Grant Robinson. All said and done, though, a goal kick. 1-1, 70th minute. Starting to become a trend, these eruptions of scoring actions in Phoenix Rising games. Crutzen slipped into midfield. One touch pass from Harvey, that's well done. And here comes Erickson Gallardo, splitting defenders, and still Gallardo, and still Gallardo, and still Gallardo, and just over the goal.
Yeah, there was no way Erickson wasn't shooting that. He got a full head of steam and drove his way midfield line on the near side all the way through. Just made a couple of cuts. That pace is so dynamic driving forward.
Starting to make a case for being a regular starter even when Rising are fully fit.
You wonder how that works because Quacio and Trejo and Gallardo, but also Fede Varela, those four all operating in the same sort of areas. How do you fit them all in? It's a great problem to have if you're Juan Guerra, but you still have to solve that kind of problem. How do you do it? I don't have the answer quite yet.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, of course. And anytime you've got an overabundance of talent, that's a good thing.
Right, it appears there's been a foul called off the goal kick.
He's on the yellow, Eddie.
It will be a set piece for Moby Fair. Looked like Boone was maybe knocked on the noggin as he went up for it.
I hope the fans just picked up the message that we got from one of the crowd mics on the side. You could hear he's got a yellow, Eddie. They are subbing in Eddie Monjoma to take on, give fresh feet to Robinson, the left-sided fullback. That's what Rising are doing. That's the chess match that we can now see fully unfolding. You get the insight down there. That's awesome, because now we know why Monjoma is about to come on the pitch as the right-sided fullback to try and take on the left-sided fullback Robinson. They want to attack him. They want to get him off balance. They want to get him sent off.
Off the dead ball, Fair. Gulfs one up, wedging into the box, headed across the goal, and spooned away by Kevin Lambert. The goal scorer from earlier, his first goal of the year. Rolled back and twisting and turning to catch up with it. Moby Fair, who took the free kick, will trace back into his own end and play out for Herrera. And Grant Robinson scooped wide, a heavy touch, and it rolls out. Lambert tosses it back in. Rising trying to wriggle themselves into a little bit of levity, find that lead again. Of course, not had it in this match, coming off the high that they felt in Birmingham. The first time you really hear the song of the South End tonight. Out for a throw for Phoenix.
Looks like Jackson Conway also getting set to come on for Rising. You have to book it that's for Manu Arteaga. If they want to stay with one striker, if they go for two, we'll see what happens. Monjoma a little bit more dynamic. Conway a little bit more of a target. Rising trying to get on the attacking effort.
Moving forward is Jason Johnson, who's recently checked in. Now down the left side, giving back to Johnson. What a tackle. Ali Flenmayor takes it right off the toes of the former Rising man and out for a throw.
They might have had him for some infringement, maybe a late challenge. I don't think it was an offsides. It was probably a late challenge from Johnson, who drove his way on in, made contact, and clattered his way through. Rising going to make their changes now.
In the 75th minute, Juan Guerra changes the equation. See if the algebra speaks to the Venezuelan manager. Monjoma, he'll come on, off goes Uzuchukwu, who's put in a shift, just not the longest to carry on.
And that's been a pretty consistent 15th minute to go change for Monjoma on for Uzo, and Arteaga exits, Conway comes on. He's such a talented individual in those scenarios.
Conway on. He replaces Manuel Arteaga, and we remind you that the next 10 minutes are brought to you by Backheel. Website taking American soccer coverage one step further. Regular articles and podcasts on the U.S. men's and women's national teams, USL and NWSL, as well as the MLS and much, much more. Backheel brings you the very best from the American game. Visit backheel.com or scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe today. They do great work over there.
They try to. I think they do. I read them every week. I read them every day now. We got a subscription. We're rolling. We're rocking, and we get to read up on not only this league, but the leagues that everybody else wants to read up on as well in this country.
At the feet of Flenmayor, of course, John Morrissey's power rankings on there every week gives you a good feel for the rest of the league. Rising have played teams in the top 10 of those power rankings exclusively up until today.
And I think you might look up next week and see that it's exclusively, other than Monterey Bay, teams in the top 5. That's the kind of level Rising have been working at.
Bad giveaway from Lambert as he moved up towards the midfield line. Well played for Johnson in midfield. He goes backwards for Kai Green, who looks to go forward again. Donor and Johnson, left side of the box, right back for Donor. Will he get there out of the byline? Yes. Back post cross into the middle. This is danger. Settled down on the edge of the box. Boone. And back for Robinson, a second stab, and stabbed way too high. Goal kick.
You have to think if that was the moment for Frank Yallop's team. They created the opportunity, a long ball over. It was so well done, so perfectly created. It was a great touchdown at the chest, a great cut back. No finish though, still 1-1, and really all Monterey Bay have to show for this game is the penalty opportunity that they did truly earn. But boy, if Phoenix can't walk out of here with all 3 points, I think they'd be a little disappointed.
In the midfield, Conway's first touch. Harassed by Green, still Green. Conway cannons the ball, and it just is beyond the head of Monjoma. That was hit hard.
It was well struck, but over the head. You have to imagine that. That's not what the end goal of that moment was.
Back in. Sliding stab away from Zambrano. And Trejo and forward from Njoma, stretching those fresh legs and stepping up, twisting and twirling at the edge of the box, and Trejo finds space, and Trejo goes over easy, and it's cleared out. Oh, is there a foul? No.
Throw.
In. Koileva was sorting that out for a second, pointing her finger in the way of Phoenix, but not for the free kick. Harvey doesn't much mind. Beautiful ball that will find the foot of Njoma. And Trejo in the half space, far side of the box. Skewing attempt in towards Conway is hoofed out and flung to the far side of the field.
Not the kind of ball you're looking to wire your way into Jackson Conway's head. He made a run to the back post. You've got to loft one up for his big frame to go chase it to the far side.
Jai dancing. Conway trudging. Conway dispossessed by Kai Green. Dixon thrust forward. Glenn Mayor, another tackle. This time got too much of the man. It was Valesky who was toppled. Kai Green sets it back on the move. And Dixon. And he's immediately fouled by Conway. This is starting to turn into a stop and start affair. That free-flowing first half with not a single moment of stoppage time. Stuttering here in the 79th. Bad touch from Donor. Loses it over the line. Trying to take the throw from right in front of Frank Yellup. Zambrano, and back to Jai. And Krutzen all the way footed across for Lambert, who lets it ride onto his right foot and turns it back for Flynn Mayor. And Krutzen. Jai makes himself available, moves towards the final third, and still keeps coming, and back heels for Gallardo, who has room to cross it in and does, and it's Conway! And it landed right on his head, but he was rising as he met it, and the ball rose and turned over the goal.
And that's the ball that's come in with enough pace where you don't have to flick it on. Conway's trying to watch the ball, use the momentum, and it's flicked on to the back post by him. That's something that ball's coming right at you. Send it back the other way towards the near post. Fire one towards the goalkeeper's right instead of letting one try and loop away to his left.
There's a man in a pink shirt, and he's right on top of our Nat sound mic, and we apologize if you're hearing him. 81st minute. Ball in. He's making himself heard. Donor. Oh, what a tackle. Krutzen. He stuck it away for a moment from Valesky, but couldn't hang on to it. Dixon. Wide side now. Robinson back into Dixon, who's basically playing in midfield in this moment. 81st minute, Kai Green pivoting around midfield, just dispatches a ball dangerously into midfield, but he's going to get bailed out for a moment, and Zambrano ends that advance. Trejo, Conway, back heel, far side Zambrano. Rising numbers, a raiding party into the box. Down low, Conway stabs at it, Njoma cries for handball in the box. Near side Jai, Jai shoots it, Jai wiggles it wide. Yellow card to Danny Trejo. Maybe dissent?
Oh yeah, if it's anything. It's a tough angle to tell from where we are up in the gantry.
Jason Johnson pushing and shoving in the scrum around Katerina Koileva. There's no need to throng the official like this, but this is starting to get a little bit chaotic. Rising feeling that the slant of the officiating is not with them.
So again, that handball, it looked like it might have been, but from where we are, I don't know. It was very close to the body, very close, and I don't know if that's the reason why. It might not have even been his hand in general. We have a tough view at this up here.
Even still, that shot took a deflection, and Krutzen has a corner, and the Rising scored their first goal from a similar situation, that time from the near flag. It was Kevin Lambert that time. He's waiting at the back post, marked by Roberts. One step out of his goal is Herrera. Crutzen, driven low in swinger to the near side of the 6. Flinging himself in is Gallardo. He wins it. Second ball in. Crutzen, oh, he just missed that far post. Not sure if it was a shot or a bit of service, but it spiked the blood pressure for certain of Herrera.
He's got some kind of technique to put that kind of whip with that kind of pace on the ball.
That might have been the best goal you see all year if it had gone in. We've seen some good ones.
And I think it was a cross, to be fair, and that's kind of the nature of the way that ball was driven in. We've got a couple more guys warming up. A little bit harder for Rising. Jose Andres Hernandez is getting warm, a little bit tighter.
All players once more muddled and bunched on the right side of the pitch as the goal kick comes in. Headed back to Roberts and Green. Long ball this time. Rios Novo will bounce to it. Collected in hand with a right-handed throw out of the back. And Lambert, Rising trying to violently shift themselves into the attacking half once more. Fuenmayor. Crutzen. This simmering atmosphere starting to mature into a rolling boil. Trejo is shifted to the near side. He receives a pass on his left foot and gets going. Now Jai. Jai scoops it into the box. Still Jai taking off him. Conway plucks it off the foot of Boone and keeps it alive. Right side from Majoma. Gallardo. They've changed the wingers. Gallardo to the far side, Trejo to the near.
Trying to find any way they can to get Trejo and Jai on the same page, on the same sideline. They've been really effective together since they've swapped over.
Horvey checking in, near side. Now Trejo and Horvey, and back for Trejo, and Trejo will get there. Donor wobbling and is somehow able to get a piece and guide it out for a corner.
And this has been the consistent wrinkle every week that has won Juan Guerra points. It's where he moves Danny Trejo, where he decides to take his number 17, his talismanic goal scorer, chance creator, and where does he put him? The change today, last 5 minutes, let's stick him on the left and let him wreak havoc on the right back.
Gallardo created a last look at goal, maybe once more. Near post ball, met firmly by Monterey, 85th minute. Second time in from Manjoma. Gallardo somehow catches up to it and just has it escape him as his first touch wasn't quite good enough. Out for a throw. Monterey taking plenty of time. 86th minute. Donoran. One in midfield by Jai. Second ball one as well by Harvey. Harvey cutting forward. It must be now for Phoenix. Gallardo with a tug of the shirt. Gillespie will bring him down. That must be a caution as well, yes?
You'd have to see the yellow come out. I don't know if it did.
I don't think so. Free kick for Crutzen. Maybe to shine down on it with a bit of class and technique.
In swinger.
Near side, maybe 25 yards from goal. Crutzen's ball. It's a beautiful one. Fuenmayor! Oh, nearly. He met it at the near side of the 6. He guided it to the right side of the far post. It was perfectly played. Just not quite poised.
If that's your forward there, I think that's a goal. I think that's as simple of a margin as that is. And maybe with Rising's forwards, we can never really tell. But with that being Fuenmayor in that poacher's area, he's a little late to react. He's a little late to go to ground and try and get a foot on it. That might have been the difference. If that's Conway on the end of that, that might sneak into a spot in between the posts.
1-1 in the 87th minute. Gallardo has not given up the fight. Here he comes. Gerdo sliding it back onto his right foot, back post ball. Trejo squares it. Herrera able to get there uncontested though. Still rising, bombarding, barraging Monterey Bay. 88th minute now. Frank Yell side waiting for the 12th round bell. Nose bloodied, leaning on the ropes. Long ball from Herrera, hoping for a fateful bounce of it. Jai, who slapped in the face, there's going to be a foul. Harvey moves it back in play. The Rising have that unlocking moment in these waning seconds. A match where they've enjoyed so much of the ball, so much of the chance. Only pegged back by a penalty. Still coming though. Swerving ball off the foot of Donor. Is that maybe a back pass? It won't matter. Herrera will just boot it long. Over the shoulder of Fuenmayor, and Rios Novo will chest it right back for Fuenmayor. So comfortable. Rocco Rios Novo. Harvey, lofting ball that will find Manjoma. He'll race it down in the right corner ahead of Robinson. Into the center, beautiful ball for Harvey, who fights off oncoming defenders and keeps coming. He thought he was fouled as that ball is hung high and clear.
He threw the fist. I think it was more of a frustrating fist at Conway, who had showed feet then peeled away. Not on the same page Rising was there. I will say this, if this game were to end right now, depending on at a 1-1 draw, Erickson Gallardo's been man of the match. He's been a constant menace down this side, switching right, going left, moving here, moving there. It's been a really strong showing from Erickson today.
Zambrano and Trejo off the throw-in and off the restart, approaching stoppage time. Trejo. Krutzen approaching the midfield line, waiting for Jai, and he just took his eye off the ball a moment as he looked up to find Jai and mistouched it, so he now has to reverse for Fuenmayor. Fuenmayor, though, doesn't waste a moment to get it to Jai. Donor's recovering in. He has been put on a run today. Maury Donor running up and down the near touchline. Out for a throw now, Gallardo. Settled for to Jai, who maybe has a chance to throw a long ball into the box. Right on the edge of the area near side. In for Conway. Touched and teased for Jai, who runs it forward and gets it back from Trejo. Ball into the box is cleared. Bicycle clearance from Johnson. Oohs and ahs around the ground. Stoppage time is all we have left. Jose Andres Hernandez waits at the ready. Ball bounces through midfield and somehow finds Boone on the left side. Here come Monterey. Boone still coming. Lambert in front of him. Lambert ushers him off the ball, but Boone sticks with it. Great ball, back post! Bouncing around in the mouth of the goal! Rios Novo keeps it out! Mayhem at the death. 6 minutes left. My goodness. That was about as close as you come. The ball hanging in the air for what felt 30 seconds, maybe even a couple hours for Rios Novo. Somehow keeps it out. And now a moment for the little man from Ixtapan de la Sal, Mexico. Jose Andres Hernandez rejoins the fray, his first action since the opener. Rising with which 5 minutes to work. Lambert under hit a pass that gets caught up in a brisk breeze as he was trying to switch it over towards Jai. Cleared out ahead for Johnson, and up to it is Boone. Creates some room for himself as Krutzen and him tangle feet, no call. Now with Rising and with numbers as they come forward. Harvey, the engine, left behind Monjoma, but chased down and recovered by Gallardo. Not quite in time, though. So he lost the ball, but he chases it back down. Rising frantically forward, trying to press their opponent. Herrera clears. Nerve-shredding stuff here at the end. Gallardo waiting on the wings as Hernandez plays through midfield, and now with Harvey, the big Panamanian, finds a little counterpart in the double pivot. Hernandez and Jai working those long legs towards the byline. Big tackle from Donor. What a challenge that is. Donor takes it up, clears his lines again. Lambert back for Rios Novo. And Lambert. In the center circle, Harvey. Picks his path forward. It's a scoop pass off the chest of Gallardo and a big clearance from Robinson. Playing for the point now, Monterey. Zambrano. Beautiful ball that lands just perfectly. Tantalizing touch from Trejo. A step over. Takes it into the area. Blotted out by Donor. There's a word for a fan in the north end as Johnson tries to work clear and does. Even better still, he put it off the shin of Trejo and out for a throw. It'll take plenty of time getting it in. About 3.5 minutes through those 6 minutes allotted. And Donor will take about 15 more seconds. Katarina Koilevas run over towards the near dugout, or the far dugout, I should say. They're going to have the throw again. I think she wanted to have a word with one of the members of the Monterey staff. I'm sure she'll be keeping her timepiece in tow. Adding on what will be assumingly another chunk, maybe a minute to the stoppage time. Throwing down line, Boone just heads it right out. Rising not content with a single point, still pulling the rope, trying to pull themselves to the all three. Lambert, scoop ball down the right side, blitzing into the box. It was Monjoma who bounced it off his outstretched right leg, but Herrera keen to it all the way. He'll collapse on it. Conway yet to get that decisive service. Jai. Quick 1-2, Crutzen. And Lambert in his own area, in his own end. They'll go the full length if they are to get the go-ahead goal. Rios Novo taking plenty of space. Pretty much joining as an 11th outfield player now. Actually goes backward for Kevin Lambert. And now Crutzen. Jai prying and peeling down this near side. Trejo checking in. Also on that edge. And Trejo slicing and swerving. And now Jai. First time left foot cross into the 6 and clawed away. Jai will set the corner quickly. He'll take it quickly too. Crutzen cues it in, and it's going to be out for a goal kick. Thought maybe for a moment it would be by way of deflection, but really no chance. There are only 30 seconds left of the initially added 6 minutes. Maybe one last breath in the lungs of what's been a thrilling contest. Up for it high. Well won by Lambert. Chested down by Zambrano. He keeps pushing and pushing forward for Conway. And Kai Green will just wing one all the way into the left side of bleachers. Gallardo tosses it back in. Zambrano, Gallardo. Hernandez in the box. Oh! Stung wide by Harvey, who met it at the same time as Monjoma. Right edge of the 6th. That was the chance. Oh, no.
That was the moment you've been looking for. It was so well done by Gallardo on the far side. He's been the catalyst for everything. Jose Andres Hernandez checking in, steps in. 1-2, great ball. Turn, open your hips, fire it in. Monjoma makes a great run. That's Harvey's ball. I think Eddie understood it. He was the first to fall to the floor. That was Rising's opportunity. You look at that move and you go, yep, that was the winning sweep of passage.
Katarina Koileva looks at her watch and blows 3 times. Monterey Bay steal a point on the road in the Valley of the Sun. 1-1 after 96 breathless minutes.
Now, Juan Guerra will be disappointed. I think that's the first time we'll walk into a presser this year and Juan Guerra will say, hey, we walked away with a result that we didn't like. You know what I'm saying? He's so often seen results not go his way, but he's come into the pressers and had the confidence that his team was going to have the ability to take these steps. This was a game they should have won, had the chances to win, yet they didn't. And that's okay. That's the signs of a growing team. Phoenix played well today, 60% possession, over 500 attempted passes, over 450 of them completed. They couldn't muster that final output in the attacking third. They get a captain's goal from Kev Lambert, but other than that, both teams were lacking, and Phoenix will hurt a little bit more because of it.
Rising will go on the road next week, a dance with the reigning champs at San Antonio FC, and then in the midweek at New Mexico United before returning home on April 29th to take on Loudoun United. This was the breadth in the schedule where you looked at it and said 3 points is the expectation. You don't come away with it. You stay unbeaten at home, though. It's not going to be a result that Juan Guerra goes to bed happy with, though.
No, not at all. And that's the beauty of it. That's what he knows he has. He has a team that can win these kinds of games, and that's why he doesn't sleep after a result like this, because he knows what they missed out on. He knows what they need to work on. He knows what the next step is to make. We'll see what happens. We'll see where it goes. We'll see how Phoenix adjusts. They've got a good one on the road in San Antonio next time out.
Waiting on Juan Guerra as he congratulates a staunch and sturdy effort from Monterey Bay. We step aside for a moment. When we come back, post-game pressure from Juan Guerra down on the field. 1-1 after 96 minutes here at 38th in Washington.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. Here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
You've always wanted to go to college, correct?
Yeah.
Well, here's that invitation you've been waiting for.
Joey, out of bed.
Wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit makeawish@wish.org.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Waiting on one, Kara, on the heels of a 1-1 results here at Phoenix Rising Stadium. Monterey Bay FC come down, they jam up the duct. They find a way to get a point as they head back to California. Juan Guerra personally going around and thanking pretty much everybody in attendance here today. He's made the long march around this entire pitch here at Phoenix Rising Stadium. He'll join media here shortly. Peyton Gallagher, Ryan Sikora here on Rising Radio. Said your last name right, let's go. Phoenix can't get all three today, and that was the measuring stick we put out for them. Could they, as an elite team does, find a way not to just raise to the big moments, but raise to every moment? This one kind of got away from them. They concede the penalty. They get the corner back. They give themselves about 15 or so minutes to work with to chase it down, and they can't get to the finish line.
Yeah, Eddie Manjoma's going to want that chance back, and probably 9 more times, and all 9 of those times he's going to leave that. He's not going to take the chance himself. And that's the difference today. I don't know if Rising finished that opportunity off, but you'll never know. You never are going to get an opportunity like that to win a game at the death like that ever again, or at least for a long, long time. They were close. They did everything we asked. They pressed with the tenacity. They possessed with the patience and the guile that you asked for, but what they didn't do is they didn't finish the ball. They didn't create enough opportunities. It's becoming a theme here now, Pate. They're top 5 in possession. They just do not create enough opportunities in front of goal to really have an opportunity to leave their mark on a game. They don't. That's the next problem they have to solve. How do we take this system as a club, as a team, as a unit, and turn it into something that's not just a possession machine, but a goal-scoring machine? You need to find ways to not score 1 goal a game. You need 2. You need 2.5, 2.2, whatever Man City does. That's what you want, because that's where this model comes from. That's where the idea comes from. The 3-2-5 is supposed to create goal-scoring opportunities and goals because of those goal-scoring opportunities. It doesn't for Phoenix yet. That's maybe the end goal. They're already so much further along than I think many expected them to be. Maybe they'll get to that goal-scoring number that they've been targeting all year a little bit sooner, but today they didn't have it.
It's only a handful of teams in the league that playing Rising's game can step toe-to-toe to them. They're going to see this 4-4-2 a lot more throughout the season. Question is, can they find that creativity throughout the year to unlock some of these low blocks?
They're going to see it a lot more, especially after the performance today. They're going to see it because they know what can be done, and they know that that 4-4-2 low mid-block can stop them. Like, that's the answer. You watch this game, and that's how you halt Phoenix Rising. So now you've got to now make that adjustment of, okay, what do we do against this formation? It's all about adjustments this game. On the fly. You play straight for 45 minutes. It's not like the NFL or the NBA where there's a stoppage and you can take a timeout. You can't do that. You've got to figure it out while it's being played. You've got to make adjustments in the moment while it's all happening. It's a challenge. It's a risk you have to take, and Phoenix are figuring it out. Are they going to be able to? I don't know, but they get better and better every day. This felt like the first time all season there was a step taken back, but even still, they had 60% of the ball, which is more than they've had all season long.
Interesting run-in coming up for Phoenix as we approach the third pole in this season. Up next, again, at San Antonio FC, a place where they won for the first time in franchise history. Last year actually swept the champions in what was a disappointing season for Phoenix.
Yeah.
Then away at New Mexico, a big derby match in the Open Cup. That's 3 straight years they've seen New Mexico in this round of that competition. Then at home versus Loudoun, that's a winnable match, but Loudoun just beat Birmingham, which we proclaimed was the best team in the league, just last week, 3-0. And then away to Tampa Bay, a traditional foe of Phoenix Rising at the pinnacle of this league, but Tampa Bay off to a very rough start as well.
Might I say it's remarkable that Loudoun on paper looks like a tougher match than Rowdies? That's remarkable to me. The great equalizer in those is you have to go to Tampa, always a tough trip to make. You got to go to New Mexico in the Cup. That's a tough trip to make. You've got to go to San Antonio. That's a tough trip to make. Key theme. They're going on the road. They're going to have to start finding a way to get points away from home, which they've not been too successful with at times this year. That being said, a point against Charleston where they didn't look good, a point against Birmingham where I don't think they looked great, but they got the job done. That's kind of the idea. That's kind of where we're at, is that Phoenix are going to have to go get uncomfortable, get a result away from home, and figure it all out. We'll see what's to come of that, though, for the Rising.
I think Juan Guerra may have gone back to the dressing room to address his team. Wonder what he has to say. We're still waiting on him to come over and speak to the media. When he does, we'll have it for you. Again, 1-1, the score here today. Monterey Bay and Phoenix Rising at the final. Rising generated a couple chances. Couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Couldn't even really work Herrera that much in goal. That cutting edge continues to prove scattered and elusive for Juan Guerra's side.
They're figuring it out. And you couldn't take advantage of a backup goalkeeper. I say that Carlos Herrera got a healthy start with his normal starter healthy as well. But Carlos Herrera truly is the second best goalkeeper on this team. I don't think we saw anything from the goalkeeper that allowed Monterey Bay to stand in. To be fair to Phoenix, the only goal they conceded today, a penalty. It was earned, it was deserved, it was a good call from the official. But still, that's encouraging signs. You kept a clean sheet in the open play. But it's still, you're just missing that attacking cutting edge, as you brought up, right? You're just not able to be able to find your way to put the ball in the back of the net. That's absurdly frustrating for me as a viewer. It's got to be absurdly frustrating for everybody else as a viewer. And it's got to be absurdly frustrating for a guy like Juan Guerra who's coaching this team to score goals. And they're not doing it.
We step out for a moment. Juan Guerra should be with us when we come back here on Rising Radio. Again, 1-1, Monterey Bay and Phoenix Rising on match day 5 of the USL season. And matter of fact, I pump fake myself. Here is Juan Guerra walking over. You play roulette, sometimes you lose. Juan Guerra now with the media, and we send it down to the field. His thoughts after a 1-1 draw with Monterey Bay. Looks like we've got some technical difficulties going on. We'll try to get those sorted out for you. Juan Guerra speaking to media now. Again, on the heels of a 1-1 draw against Monterey Bay. Goal scorer Kevin Lambert, after a penalty was converted by Alex Dixon. Flurry of offensive action in the middle portion of that second half. Rising still without a clean sheet on this 2023 season.
To find shots on target,
There's
clear
Juan
shots
Guerra.
on target. So it was like the build-up was good. Absorbing pressure was good. Being able to move on side to side, it was good. But then in the final third, we were lacking a bit. And this is not just the front players. This is absolutely everyone. And it's what bothers me is that I go home today thinking that we didn't play a bad game. but I also, whatever we did wasn't enough to win it. So that bothers me.
What do you think about Uzo's performance today?
Uzo, I think he was good. He's been doing what he had to do. He kept the width of the field. He found situations where he found himself in 1v1 areas. He put in some very, very good crosses in the first half. I think one of them hit the crossbar when Gabi headed it and it hit the side of the post. But at the end of the day, it's not individuals. I think it's a collective. It's a collective, and it's not just one or two players. It's one of those that I told the guys at halftime. I hate this feeling. I hate the feeling of feeling and knowing and seeing it that you're superior, but you still don't find ways to be superior in the result, to win it. And listen, again, it's part of the process. It's part of this process, and sometimes we're gonna have high peaks, and other nights like tonight we're gonna feel that we're the team that is dominating on the field. But also, I'm gonna say we were dominating the game, but then at the end we could have lost it. So it's one of those. We have to keep a balance, and if we're gonna be dominant, if we're gonna be better than the opposition on the field, and especially at home, we have to make sure that we finish the chances that we create, because that's what, to me, being dominant is and all about. You could be dominant in the game, but at the end of the day, if you don't win it, if you don't take the 3 points, or if you lose it, what does it matter if you're dominating the game? We got to dominate, and we have to make sure that we put the chances away.
Did you get an explanation from the referee on the penalty?
No, I did not.
What are your thoughts on it?
I think there was a bit of excessive contact, I would say, with our center back marking their player, and then it's very clear how both of them bump into each other. But again, I hate to talk about the referees. All I was saying the fourth is I just want an equal balance. If that's a penalty, the cleared handball on this side should have been a penalty too.
How big a loss was it when Gabi went down?
Well, Gabi's an important player for us, but at the end of the day, we had to, make a substitution, and then Babu comes in, and I think he does a good job stretching the field, stretching the width, going at people 1v1. Babu's a guy that didn't do preseason. This kid had surgery right before preseason started, and he couldn't do preseason, and he's just been active for a couple of weeks. So what Babu is doing right now is not normal. It's completely abnormal, and we're very happy with his growth, with his development, and little by little we're gonna get Babu to 100%. Just like we need every player to be at 100%. The guys that start, the guys that don't start, at the 75th minute, if we have to make changes, guys have to come on the field, be ready to influence the game in a positive way, and give us answers that we're probably not finding. And again, listen, at the end of the day, this is a collective and not too much about the individuals.
This is your third draw this season. You guys rallied back from the penalty to equalize in the corner. How do you guys turn these draws into wins as you go on later down the line?
We keep moving forward. We keep working. Again, today, I liked everything we did until the final third. In the final third, I think we lacked a bit of more incisiveness, being more vertical towards goal, being able to be more brave to take those 1v1s, and also find combination plays with 1-2s or attacking spaces in behind them. The reality also is this is the first time we played a low block. I didn't think Monterey was going to come and sit so deep. They really pretty much let us have the ball. And listen, it's not easy to break low blocks. And we keep improving. We keep working. Today was a good test. In my opinion, a lot of things that we did well, other things that we need to improve, and we're going to keep working and moving forward the same way.
Another game that Darnell misses the 18. What is it specifically you need to see from him to get him back into the matchday squad?
Oh, it's Darnell, and then we have Nayo, and Fede was out too because of injury. Cuello is out. It's everyone. It's not just Darnell. And I'm telling you guys, over here, it's not about the individual. It's about the collective, and the team is the most important team. And every decision we make is thinking of the collective and the team first. If a player is not on the 18, it's because at the moment or at the game, we think that the person that is in the 18 is ahead of them, either by performance or maybe because it's a game that we think that person can give us something different. Darnell trains his butt off every single week. He leads from example, and he's my right hand. He's my team captain. So he just has to keep working the same way that he's been doing. He's going to get his opportunity. And when his opportunity comes, he has to show them that he's ahead of his teammate, just like every other player on the field. It's nice. It could be Darnell, it could be Rocco, it could be Arteaga, Fuenmayor, Kev. I can name all of them. All of them understand and know that we build a roster of 23 players that can all be starters, and that's what we wanted. So we have that healthy competition in the locker room, and all of them have to stay sharp. because they understand that we're going to put on the field whoever we think that is performing best.
Do you have an update on Gabby's injury at all?
We don't know yet. No, it was a tackle. I think could be a bit of an MCL. We'll see what it is. I hope it's nothing bad. It's just the inside of his knee, but we'll see.
And then what's the update on Emmy then, since he missed him?
We're being cautious. He had he tweaked a bit of his groin and something in his hip. So we wanted to be cautious, understanding that now we have a full week of training that will allow us the opportunity to recover him and other players. But then after this full week of training, starting on Saturday, is a 3-game week. So it was very important for us to make sure that hopefully by next week and that three-game week is going to be the first time that we have every single player in the roster healthy.
Yeah, Juan, ¿qué pasó hoy comparado a lo que pasó la semana pasada? ¿Fue la ejecución? ¿Fue Monterrey? ¿Qué pasó hoy en el partido?
Monterrey hizo un buen trabajo, hizo un bloque bajo, un bloque medio de una presión donde no dejaba mucho espacio. Me parece que dominamos muchas fases del partido, pero al final nos faltó un poquito en el último tercio de la cancha, ser un poco más incisivos, tener un poco más de claridad, ser un poco más valientes, en ir en los manos a manos y jugárnoslas un poquito más en el último tercio. Creamos algún par de oportunidades, pero me molesta ser tan dominante en un partido y tener que ir a casa sin los 3 puntos.
Phoenix Rising for many years just had goalies that have just been so solid, so consistent, and Rocco so far has been definitely one of those goalies. How pleased have you been with his performances as of just recently, Jen?
Rocco was very good today, and he was good the other day. Patrick was very good the other day versus Greenville. We're very happy with both of them. Tonight, Rocco showed again, what he can do with his feet, but also what he can do, under when he has to make big saves. What the interesting thing and the hard thing for goalkeepers with Phoenix Rising is that you're not going to be receiving shots all game. There's going to be 1, 2, 3 saves that you have to make max to keep the team safe. And this is why in 95 minutes, receiving only maybe 3 shots or 4 shots and you have to make those saves is difficult because you have to stay engaged and concentrated for 95 minutes to make those 3 saves. So we're very, very happy with what we have. And then on top of that, we just don't ask them to make the saves. We demand a lot from them with their feet to be able to build out of the back and absorb pressure. And both of them can do it. So we're very, very happy to have them.
Back up here in the gantry, that was Juan Guerra. The final score tonight, 1-1. That will be our final words of this evening's production of Rising Radio. Again, Juan Guerra, his thoughts after a 1-1 draw between Phoenix Rising and Monterey Bay FC. For Ronan Haycoop, Jaden Taylor, my partner Ryan Sikora, I've been Peyton Galler. We thank you for being with us. Next, San Antonio away on April 22nd. We hope you join us. Take care, everybody.
Child you loved, to make their wish come true, to help them fight a critical illness. Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit makeawish@wish.org.
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. Here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
You've always wanted to go to college, correct?
Yeah.
Well, here's that invitation you've been waiting for.
Joey, out of bed.
Wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe. But some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
He embarrassed her in front of others. She kept it to herself. He called her names. She didn't say anything. He pushed her. She still remained quiet. He punched and kicked her. She's now in the hospital. If you don't stop them, they won't stop bullying you. Stand up against the bully and raise your voice. Break the silence, stop the violence.
This message was brought to you by mass communication students of Abu Dhabi University.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.